about 3 months since trying it. It's crazy because it was daily that I'd have these, and it's just gone.
Because of you, I can walk again.
Because of you, I feel amazing.
Giving equals living. Give plasma. Replenish the supply. Make an appointment to give today by visiting hhs.gov/giveplasma. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Listen up, parents, teachers, counselors, coaches. Your boy just turned 18, but they need one more push. Don't let them forget to register with the Selective Service System. It's required by law, and it can open up the door to many federal benefits. Visit sss.gov.
A multi-billion-dollar settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you were exposed to weed killers at work or at home, your rights are affected. If you or your family has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, you could receive $6,000 to $165,000 or more. This settlement impacts you even if you're not sick, because this blood cancer can take 10 to 15 years to appear. If you stay in the settlement, you give up your right to sue. Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Studio, WCMC HD1 Holly Springs, 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. A few light scattered showers until the middle of the afternoon, and then a round of storms potentially this evening. They would move through quickly, but one or two of those could knock down a tree. 76 for the high today, and we'll drop back into the mid-50s overnight. Tomorrow, we're back to more sunshine with highs in the mid-70s.
3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 296 points today to 48,845.
Huge block now. Sent out in front. They score! Taylor Hall! Miller shot off the sidewalk. He scores! Logan Stankoven! 4 games, 4 goals. Jarvis, he'll tip it to Aho. And he'll put it in the empty net. Bingo! And the Carolina Hurricanes are the first team in the 2026 playoffs to advance around, sweeping the Ottawa Senators.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Happy Hump Day, everybody. We'll just get it out of the way first. We don't know when the second round is going to start for the Carolina Hurricanes. Still things we need to learn. But I'm glad that you asked. I'm glad that you're interested. I'm sure the Canes would love to know when their second round is going to start. Alas, we wait. We wait. But to maybe make it up for you, I can tell you this. We're going to send somebody to watch in person the second round of the playoffs. We have a pair of tickets that we're giving away as part of our Canes playoff ticket giveaway, and you'll have to be listening throughout the show, right? Just as you have been throughout certain hours earlier today already. Each hour, 3 o'clock hour, 4 o'clock hour, 5 o'clock hour of the drive, we'll give you a keyword. You text it in. By the end of that hour, as long as you text in each time, you'll have an entry into potentially winning yourself some playoff tickets for the round 2 playoff series between the Carolina Hurricanes and whoever it ends up being, Philly or Pittsburgh. Now that you know you have to stay and listen in, let's go ahead and jump into the Big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
Big 3 at 3 is presented by Maynard Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. Decades of service. They want you to be a part of their community. MaynardServices.com, MAYNOR Services.com. Number 1 in the Big 3 at 3. This happened right at the end of the show yesterday. And it's one of the moves that required a bit of research before we could talk about it fully. Sayon Keita from overseas has committed to Carolina. The most important part of this for Carolina, Carolina basketball, right? And this is a young player that had been in the class of 2027, reclassified up to 2026. The most important part is this. He's 7 feet tall. He is 7 feet tall, and I say this affectionately as somebody that has had this word described about me at times. He is 7 feet tall and lanky. Standing reach, about 9 feet 4.5 inches. Assuming that he wears, somewhere in the size 18 shoe range because he's a 7-footer. Tippy toes, we're talking he's grazing the bottom of the rim. He's from Mali originally, just 18 years old, 7 feet 5 inch wingspan. There's two ways to look at this player, okay? And I think it's a good get for Carolina. But there's two ways to look at this player. One is oodles and oodles and oodles of talent. Oodles and oodles and oodles of potential. The other is extremely raw. And I think the best way to describe that is back in July, right? Because I was doing my research, seeing when he broke onto the scene, when did everybody kind of get infatuated by his talent. Back in July, it was reported by Draft Express that he was the top international big man in the class of 2027 and that he had been conducting official visits to 6 blue blood schools. He had them set up to Kansas, Indiana, Kentucky, Duke, Carolina, and UConn, according to Draft Express. So if you have a player and that those are the ones he's being courted by, usually a pretty good player. So Carolina should be excited about that. The other way to describe him is that he's been playing for Barcelona over the last 2 years. He has played about 6 minutes per game. 6.
Well, he's also was 17 most of that season, so
correct, and even younger than that prior to. But that's the developmental upside, right? You go find some highlights. The guy can dunk, the guy can run, the guy can jump. He is 7 feet tall. He's just extremely raw. Extremely raw. Super lanky, can block shots, can obviously catch alley-oops, all of that. Best case scenario, I think he can be somebody like perhaps Kaman Malawash was for Duke, not this year but the year before, where you surround him with polish and Cooper Flagg, Con Knipple. You surround him with guys that can handle the basketball and the high IQ and everything, and then he just gets to go be an unbelievable athlete and a communicator on defense and a rotation guy on defense and block shots. 7 feet, runs like a deer. It's a good get by Michael Malone, and he's still over there recruiting, meaning still searching through Europe and all of the professional leagues for additional big men to add to the roster. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That was the big news for Carolina yesterday. The big news for all of college basketball is number 2.
Number 2.
The NCAA Tournament is expanding to 76 teams. Yesterday, again at the end of the show, Pete Thamel of ESPN had it first that it's expected to happen. If you were listening to the show right at the end, I basically had 2 minutes to just do exactly what you heard Max play on the soundboard there. Just no, why, no. I still don't get why. I don't think it's a good money decision long term. Obviously, short term, you get to charge more for television games, right? You get to add Tuesday, Wednesday, and the advertisers get more commercials, and there's more this, and there's more that, and there's more everything. Long term, I think it hurts the product. I think a 64-team bracket is perfect for introducing new fans. A 68-team bracket with the first 4, I don't think it made it any better, but it didn't ruin it because we all just kind of agreed to ignore it when we were filling out our brackets and just go, I'll take the team that wins this one. But if you start getting into all of the 11 seeds, some 13 seeds, all of these seeds, some 16 seeds, some 15 seeds, it's like the bracket, it's not perfect anymore.
It's going to be really – I just don't understand how our bracket challenge is basically dead now because are those games going to count?
What's the scoring system?
And also when there's that many games where you don't know who's even going to be playing in the first round, I just don't know how – unless you have to fill it out basically
you're going to have to fill it
between the last game on Wednesday and the first game on Thursday. You have 12 hours instead of getting
opposite. You're going to have to fill it out between Selection Sunday and the start of the games on Tuesday. which is when the extra games will start, you will count the first 4 games on your bracket. The only thing I can think of is
12.
Or the first, whatever you're going to call that. I guess the first round now. That's not
the tantalizing 12. They're very untantalizing because it's going to be teams like
but you're gonna
Indiana
have to,
from this year.
You're going to have to fill it out before Tuesday, which gives everybody less chance to basically just get to it. I guess for the pools that do like 1 point for a first round game, 2 points for a next, 3 points for a next, 4 points for – I guess you give 0.5 for getting one of the 12 games right.
Or maybe it's just more points total because then it's 10 points for the first round, 20 or 10 points for the kickoff round. I don't even.
It's
this is stupid.
It is. It's stupid, and nobody can give me a good reason why, other than you believe it's more lucrative for the teams in television and everything. I disagree with that long term. I don't think. I think and this might be like a business school lesson, and I do not pretend to be a business expert, but to me, if you just make the best possible product, the money will follow. And to me, they had the best possible product. One of the best possible products in all of sports, which was the chaos and magic and madness that is that tournament. And they're now just they're catering too much to the big money schools. They're catering too much to the power conferences. And I hate it. Hate it. With a fiery, fiery passion. That's and by the way, the people that run college sports, as if you don't have other things to deal with. Take all the energy you had on debating 76 or 82 or 64 or 68 or 100 and whatever, and spend it on all the things that are actually broken in college sports. How about that? That's number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
It was known, it was announced, it was made public a while ago. The decision had been made. But officially, as of earlier today, the Carolina Panthers have picked up the 5th-year option on Bryce Young. Panthers.com wrote it this way. The decision was easy and made months ago. The paperwork was filed on Wednesday. The Panthers did the expected thing and exercised the 5th-year option on quarterback Bryce Young's rookie contract, which will keep him here through the 2027 season. They did announce it earlier. Dan Morgan had said they were going to do it, GM. I'm not sure why they waited, but they did. I guess it could have been some cap stuff where you could sign free agents and stay under the cap, or make a trade and stay under the cap and then restructure that contract in time to do this. I don't know. But according to the Associated Press, under the terms of the 5th-year option, Young would make $29.5 million for the 2027 season. I went to just Spotrac, the website that tracks everything NFL contract, and that would be the 18th highest average annual value on a contract for quarterbacks right now. 18th highest. Now, obviously, that can go up or down by 2027. You would assume it would be lower in the ranks because every quarterback seems to be getting paid more and more and more. But you no longer have at the end of this year, you no longer have the discount, right? You no longer have a gigantic advantage on everybody by having a rookie contract. You might have a slight advantage on some teams, but they are paying their guy for a reason. You're going to have to go out and have elite quarterback play if you're paying somebody $30 million plus. Which, by the way, by picking up a 5th-year option, you say there's a pretty good chance that it's going to be. You got to project a little bit there, but it is now officially official. Bryce Young tied to the team through the rest of this year on the rookie contract, and then one more on his 5th-year option. According to the AP, it'll be $29.5 million. Congrats to Bryce, by the way. That's a lot of money. Congrats to his agent. Congrats to his lawyers, everybody, because that's a nice chunk of change for everybody involved. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Carolina Hurricanes. We don't know when their second-round series is going to start, but we know they'll be playing in the second round. What do they need to change from their first-round series? What do they need to kick into gear from their first-round series while they deal with this long break? We'll talk about it next.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friend Dr. Lori Travers and Travers LASIK, and people ask me all the time, why did you go to Dr. Lori? 1, she's the best. 2, I need 20/20 vision, and now I've got it. I've gotten rid of the glasses and the contact and everything that goes along with it. And right now, Travers LASIK is honoring first responders with an exclusive LASIK savings for police officers, firefighters, and EMTs. Travers LASIK, 919-510-6830, TraversLASIK.com.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and nearly 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. Left untreated, these veins can cause tired, heavy legs, swelling, burning, cramping, aching, even restless leg syndrome. In some cases, it can lead to serious health risks like blood clots. USA Vein Clinics offers minimally invasive treatments that take as little as 15 minutes, covered by most insurances. Call 984-207-6220 and schedule your appointment today. Don't wait. Call 984-207-6220 for free information today. Imagine walking, exercising, and sleeping peacefully again. Varicose and spider veins won't go away on their own. USA Vein Clinics can help. Call 984-207-6220 for fast, easy, and affordable solutions. USA Vein Clinics treatments are covered by most insurance plans. Don't put this off any longer. Call 984-207-6220.
Carolina skates it out. A huge block now. Sent out in front. They score! Taylor Hall! And that's got to feel good for number 71, Carolina. In the lead, 1-0.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Carolina Hurricanes are in the second round. Pittsburgh, Philly, one of them. Max, who do you want to see? Put you on the spot. You want to see Philly or you want to see Pittsburgh?
It's tough because Pittsburgh's got all the experience, but that also means that I think they're a little bit older and maybe don't skate as well. I feel like maybe somebody asked me this yesterday, and I think I might have said Pittsburgh, but now I'm flip-flopping. Now I think it might be Philadelphia. I really don't know. I think they're still going to beat whoever it is in 5 games, but I'll just say Pittsburgh. We'll say Pittsburgh.
The one year I was at the Super Bowl doing Radio Row, and Mike Golick Jr. was there, and at the end of every interview that I did, I would just say, give us your pick. And he literally said on air, he was like, all right, I've been doing these interviews all over Radio Row. I've been alternating. That way, 50% of you will think that I'm a genius regardless, and I'll have some people to brag with. So then you can go ahead and just mix it up. Every day somebody asks you, say you want to see the other one, and maybe that just proves that you don't care.
Yeah, I really don't, because, again, I think they're going to handle whatever team easily. But
so let's make it about the Canes, right? Because that's always the coaching thing, right? It's not about who we're playing. It's about us. Right? Focus on us. Control what we can control. The people inside this locker room. So I thought about this, right? By the way, I still believe, and I said this yesterday, that the biggest part of a break is getting healthy. For a second straight day, this coming from Walt Ruff, Canes team reporter, Rod Brindamore said Alexander Nikishin, who's in concussion protocol, is, quote, going in the right direction. He also said Nikolai Ehlers is, quote, getting better every day. And anticipates he will be able to rejoin the group, quote, shortly. So that's, to me, the biggest key of any of this, right? The shout out to the Penguins for winning just enough games. If they've done their work already and they lose the next, they've given a chance at least for Ehlers and Nikishin to get back up and running. Now there's the debate. Outside of that, is it good or bad to have the break? Well, I would say even outside of the injury recovery, it's not all bad that they have this hiatus. It's not all bad, right? I can understand if you're worried about some guys losing rhythm, if you're worried about Freddie Anderson kind of waking up, right, from his heater, or if you're worried about Logan Stankoven having that glorious Midas touch escape him during the break. I get that, but I decided to come up with 3 things that you kind of hope get thrown off, right? Kind of 3 things that you might hope a break could reverse. I have three things in front of me. The Aho line, like their scoring, their ability to find the back of the net. Jarvis, Svetch, Aho, those are guys that, regardless of context, should never go a series without having their names on the score sheet a whole bunch of times. They're too good, and the games are too important, and you need your top guys to play like top guys. I think it's crucial that whatever had them in a little bit of a goal scoring / point production funk is gone, right? And if it takes a couple days away from the ice or a couple good nights sleep at home where you're not worried about the game the next day, that's worth the break right there. They handled Ottawa without those guys scoring. And, for the first couple of games, I think it was fair to bring up those two lines are kind of negating each other, right? Ottawa's top line wasn't scoring. Stützle wasn't really scoring, so Aho wasn't. It felt like there was a cancellation, but it should never happen for 4 games in a row. Another thing that needs to break out of the rut is their power play, which ironically has a lot of the same guys. But I know the power play didn't get held, wasn't shut out, right? It wasn't a zippy-dippy, but I think the penalty kill masked some of the power play struggles because just game in and game out, you weren't losing special teams, right? You were still winning the overall, right? There was one game, and I kind of jokingly said it, but it's true. There was one game where the Canes went 0 for 4 on the power play, and technically they were the better power play because Ottawa went 0 for 5 and had a 5-on-3 opportunity and didn't convert on that. So it's like, by virtue of being like just a -5, you were better than the -10 power play of the other team, right? And that's just like quality, not any kind of statistic. Their power play needs to play better. In the NHL postseason, nobody is good enough to just say those advantages don't mean anything to us, or we'll just beat you 5-on-5, or we'll always have a penalty kill that is so good that we don't have to do anything on the power play. It's just you have to take advantage of your advantage. That's why the easiest way to say it. You have to. So I guess number 1 and number 2 on this things that you kind of want to shake up during the break are pretty similar, right? Because again, like I said, it's a lot of the same guys. And then the last one. I think they want to get back in the rhythm faceoffs. Game 3, they battled. Don't get me wrong. Game 3 against Ottawa, they battled, and it was crucial, and it felt like a real dagger game, the first game in Ottawa, and they really on the backs of Stahl, Aho, and Jankowski, which are the three that get decent volume. They won the faceoff battle. Outside of that, they kind of got smoked on the dot, right? The game 1. Even though you win the games, they're getting smoked in the faceoff circle, and at different times it was different guys. But that is something, right? When you're playing puck possession hockey, getting yourself those extra possessions just helps. It just helps, and we know they can execute like set pieces. We know they can clear the puck. We know they have all these guys with all this skill. If you can just steal possessions away with the faceoff, or at least not give your opponent extra possessions by winning 39% or whatever it was in a few of those games, it's huge. Right, so I want to point. The reason why I want to do this wasn't just to be negative. Right, wake up on a Wednesday. We're still a handful of days away from the next game, at least. It wasn't just to wake up and go like they didn't do anything well. No, but it was to wake up and say, everyone that is so worried about this long break getting rusty, and the things that were going well in the first round, you're worried about losing them. There's also some things that can, some momentums that you want to stop and turn back in the other direction. That, quite frankly, if you're going to continue winning in the postseason, you're going to have to stop some of these things and move them in the other direction. I don't think it is a realistic quest for the Carolina Hurricanes to think you're going to beat the teams that you need to beat to hoist the trophy, hoist the cup, if you're not getting more production out of your power play and specifically the top line, even on 5-on-5. And then, face-offs, I threw it in there because a couple games it was pretty statistically obvious. But again, Ottawa, that's something they do well. Now, If Freddie stays hot and your penalty kill stays hot and the Stankoven line stays hot, it makes it easier if those things don't get, kicked into gear. But you don't want to depend on those things happening because that's unfair to those parts of the team. It's unfair. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of the second round of the Canes, why don't we go ahead and do this? It's time for our keyword in our Canes playoff ticket giveaway. So this is how it's going to work. I have a list in front of me of keywords. I have one for this hour, one for next hour, and one for the 5 o'clock hour, and that is true for the rest of the week. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I am going to give you the keyword for this hour and the number you have to text it to. And if you text it in before the end of the hour, okay, so this keyword is only good until 4 o'clock today. If you do that, you will have a chance, this hour's chance, to win a pair of tickets to a round two game of the Stanley Cup playoff in Raleigh, and you can help sound the siren, do the storm surge, all that good stuff. So here's how it goes. The keyword for this hour is, appropriately, cup. C-U-P. Just the keyword. You don't have to text in anything else. You don't have to say, hey, the Drive. But nope, just one word, cup. Text it to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to a round two Stanley Cup playoff game in Raleigh. Text cup to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win the tickets. If you do that before 4 o'clock, okay? This one is only good until 4. It expires. It will not be good if you text it in at 4:02. If you do that by 4, you will have this hour's entry, and then continue listening because next hour, at some point, I'll surprise it with you just like I did this one, you will get another keyword and another chance to enter. You can enter every single time to maximize your chances. This is not a once you're entered, you're in thing. Every hour is a new entry. I won't explain it this in depth every time, but since it's the first time we've done it here on this show, I wanted to make sure you have all the details. Keyword cup. Text it to 919-860-5326 before 4 o'clock for this hour's chance. We'll take a break. When we come back, time for the Dean's List. But first, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. I'll explain this one similar to what I just explained to you. It is very simple. What you have to do if you want to have a no-cost loan, no closing costs, no hidden surcharges, no disguised fees. If you just want the loan, the monthly payment, and that's it. When you're looking for a mortgage, you need to call Miller Lending. There's no keyword you have to say other than, hello, my name is. I would like to speak to you about a no-cost loan. I mean, that's not exact keyword, but that'll get the job going, get the conversation started. So give them a call. Miller Lending, if you're in the market for a mortgage or a refi. If your interest rate is too high, you locked it in at the top of the market, Miller Lending, again, no closing costs, no cost, no fees, wants to help you get that rate as low as you possibly can. So the number, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, that's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. We'll take a break. When we come back, as promised, the Dean's List. Stick around.
It's bow time. Sometimes the craving for Bojangles Supremes is so strong you just gotta have them. Even when your gas tank is on empty and Bojangles is still 10 miles down the highway. Nothing beats the flavor of Bojangles' juicy golden Supremes, especially when they're part of a perfect combo with 4 boldly seasoned chicken Supremes, a made-from-scratch biscuit, fixin', and some legendary iced tea. The only thing that can satisfy your hunger is that delicious southern flavor. So when the craving is supreme, put the pedal to the metal. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that one-of-a-kind Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned, Cajun-fried, whole breast tenderloin fillets, choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles' legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell and Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I was just given some additional details that I can pass along about the playoff ticket giveaway. First of all, the hourly keyword has not changed. Still CUP, C-U-P. That's how you spell it. Text it in to 919-860-5326 before the end of the hour to win to potentially win some Canes playoff tickets. The additional details, they are tickets to Game 2. Game 2 playoff tickets. Game 2, Round 2 playoff tickets. And the additional details are the winner will be selected and notified Monday, May 4th. Okay, so we are taking, we'll give you a keyword this hour, next hour, the 5 o'clock hour. Do the same tomorrow, the same the next day. And then the winner will be notified on Monday. And the tickets that the winner will win, which could be you, will be Round 2, Game 2 tickets in Raleigh. There you go. Now that all of that is passed along, let's go ahead and jump into the Dean's List. Dean's List, where we highlight those both directly and indirectly related to the college sports world that we care so much about here in the Triangle. I'll start with North Carolina, meaning Tar Heels, women's tennis star Reese Brantmeyer. I don't even know if this is like impressive anymore, but she beat the NCAA in court. Tennis star wanted to be able to earn prize money before they enroll in college. So like if you're a high schooler, you qualify for the U.S. Open or something like that, you go win money, you should be able to keep that money. After a drawn out, I mean, I remember hearing about this months, if not years ago, the first time this kind of hit court with Brantmeyer. According to WRAL and sports investigative reporter Brian Murphy, athletes in all sports will be able to accept prize money before they enroll in college under the terms of a proposed settlement of a class action lawsuit brought by North Carolina women's tennis star Reese Brantmeyer against the NCAA. The NCAA has agreed to pay $2.02 million in damages, which includes $10,000 for Brantmeyer and former Texas tennis player Maya Joint, the two named plaintiffs in the suit. The NCAA is also paying more than $2 million in attorney's fees, administrative costs, and other costs. Though the class action suit included only tennis players, the NCAA is lifting its prize money restrictions for all athletes, according to the proposed settlement. I mean, I hate that it took the court, but it's common sense, right? If college basketball players are making millions of dollars, if quarterbacks are making millions of dollars, why can a tennis player participate in an event, win the money, and then have to say, no, thank you, I would like to not accept it, I want to stay eligible? It doesn't make any sense. I think this mostly impacts the individual sports, things like golf, things like tennis, where players can be good enough to go compete and win prize money, and then they can double back and still play in college, which just makes sense. I guess maybe like triathlons and stuff too for distance runners. We always think of it as like the tennis player that makes a couple 100,000 mixed doubles or something like that. It could be, the cross-country star that wins a local 5K that comes with like a $300 gift card. They now get to keep that and keep their eligibility, which why were they not allowed to? Why did the NCAA not say, well, now that players can get paid from the school, they can go win money elsewhere? Foolish. But Reese Brandmeier won in court, so she's on the Dean's List. Max, do you have any Dean's Listers you'd like to throw out here?
Yeah, actually, it's minus Carolina related as well. They did a good bit of business today, canceling their previously scheduled game against Queens in baseball due to impending weather. But there are many theories online that this game was potentially canceled due to the low RPI rating of Queens, meaning even if Carolina had won the game, there was a chance that their RPI could drop. Carolina is a top 5 team in college baseball right now. So a good little bit of business to conveniently, cancel the game due to impending weather, although it looks like they may have been able to get it in. But yeah, just a little savvy there for protecting your postseason ratings and rankings for the Tar Heels. Kind of lame, but also
I was going to say
smart,
I
good,
hate
smart business, but
you don't hate
lame.
the player, hate the game, right? You got to play to the statistics and the analytics and everything, the metrics, but it's just so dumb. It's fantastically dumb. More Dean's List. How about Con Knipple? Sources told 247 and a bunch of other Devil's Den, a bunch of other publications that Duke has offered Milwaukee, Wisconsin Lutheran High School forward Cager Knipple. 6'9", 205-pound forward, becomes the first offered player in the class of 2027 for Duke. He's currently a top 150 nationally recruit, top 17 among power forwards. I just think, when you go to a school, and Con Knipple appeared to enjoy his time at Duke, your little brother getting a chance to play there is probably pretty darn cool. And for Cager Knipple, if his brother had a good time, he gets to follow in the footsteps. We've seen this before with Duke a few times, Plumlee's. But, just the same thing as like when Kenny Smith, when his sons played for Carolina, like that's cool. The whole alumni thing works. You're becoming a part of the same group. So if Cager Knipple chooses Duke, that's pretty cool for Con. And he plays in Carolina already at Charlotte, so right, might be able to catch each other's games occasionally. Could be fun. More Dean's List. How about TJ Otzelberger, Iowa State head men's basketball coach, who did a really good job, but now I'm thinking he wasn't acting at all. When his name popped up with Carolina, right, because he was one of the options that analysts and talking heads thought UNC might be interested in as their next head coach, his discussions about Iowa State being his kind of favorite job felt more believable, right? When maybe a Dusty May or a Tommy Lloyd, it felt like they were just avoiding the question. Now, obviously, they both stayed. Dusty May won a national championship, and Tommy Lloyd got paid. But Otzelberger seemed like Iowa State really was his favorite spot, right? And his wife went there and everything else. Turns out there may have been some money also. He didn't just turn down Carolina out of the, win one for the Gipper of Iowa State. He just agreed to a 10-year deal that will pay him $6 million a year. I can do math. 10 times 6? That's pretty good for the head coach of Iowa State men's basketball. $60 million over 10 years. Now, who knows how much of that is guaranteed, what the buyout structures are and everything, but that's a lot of money. If you just stay there another 3 years, you got your 16 mil, you're good to go for life. You're 18 mil, you're good to go for life. I do think, by the way, I think this is going to happen, right? The way that college sports goes, the ways that sports goes is when everyone is moving in a certain direction, when everyone is doing something, somebody does it another way, right? They zag, as they call it, and then they have a tremendous amount of success. I'm anticipating this. There's going to be a school. I'll call it a mid-power conference school, right? Not mid-major, power conference, but not like ever been discussed as a blue blood, right? Think of like a middle-of-the-pack ACC school or whatever. I think there's going to be someone that pays their head coach almost nothing. You know, find a coach who's wildly unproven, an assistant, maybe a recent former player, and they're going to give them, I say almost nothing, like $800,000. And they're going to take all of the money they had earmarked for a head coach and put it into the roster, and they're going to have a lot of success. Because right now, you're looking at programs up and down, right? Everyone that's winning, the coach is getting paid $6, $7, $8 million, and I think it goes further on the floor. If you can just take, you know, an extra $4, $5, $6 million a year and put it into the roster, I think that's the biggest difference. Somebody's going to do it. Obviously not Iowa State, because they're going to be playing Otzelberger, $6 million per on average. Last one for you here in the Dean's List. And I didn't get to say it yesterday, and I just like to acknowledge guys who kind of had their dreams come to fruition in some way. Although also it's just the start of the work. But the local guys that got drafted in the NFL over the weekend, for Duke, it was Wesley Williams, who went in the 4th round to the Jags. Chandler Rivers, Wesley Williams, D lineman. Chandler Rivers, defensive back, 5th round to the Ravens. Brian Parker, 6th round to the Bengals. For State, it was Justin Jolie, tight end, 5th round to the Broncos. And Brandon Cleveland, 7th round to the Raiders, defensive lineman. And then ECU, wide receiver Anthony Smith, went to the Cowboys as well, 7th round there. Now there's a whole bunch. I not too many to mention that signed undrafted free agent contracts or rookie tryout, mini camps, whatever, all across the league. So congratulations to everybody that, you know, gets flown out to an NFL facility and gets to go out there and try to prove themselves. But for the ones that got drafted, I'm sure hearing your name, getting that phone call was pretty special. So congrats. Congratulations to you. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, Carolina, the Tar Heels, men's basketball, got a commitment yesterday from a 7-footer. When everybody says they needed somebody to replace Henry Vesar, is that enough? Do they need more? Stick around.
Hey folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. One thing that you need to make sure as a motorcycle rider that you do before you even get on the motorcycle is make sure your bike is in proper working order. Not only do you got to make sure that your bike everything is working properly, but have you washed your bike recently? One thing that you could do to actually take care of your bike while you're at home is actually washing your bike. Get all the gunk, the dirt, all the dust outside of your bike. That way you can make sure that your bike runs clean. That way you have no stoppages in your exhaust. Nothing gets up in your engine. Make sure you clean your motorcycle. Take care of your bike. Your bike takes care of you. But if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or visit lawtigers.com. Your case evaluation is always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. Call Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Stay informed with The Rundown, the daily newsletter from High School OT that delivers high school sports news and insights straight to your inbox. Brought to you by High School OT and powered by our sponsors Wake Orthopedics, First Carolina Bank, and Smith Douglas Homes. Subscribe to The Rundown at highschoolot.com.
At quarterback, calling the right play could change the whole game. And when your car breaks down, same idea. Make the right call before the big repair bill hits. CarShield helps protect you from expensive auto repairs. Plans include 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, and rental car options, all to keep your drive alive. Look, breakdowns happen, but choosing CarShield, that's the easiest call you'll make all day.
Visit carshield.com now and join the team that's helped millions of drivers save. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ziprecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ziprecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ziprecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Max, we are up on YouTube, correct?
Yes, YouTube is back. So if you want to, contribute to the conversation, want to see us live on video, we also want to watch some clips from our shows today, Adam Gold Show, and here on The Drive. Be sure hop on 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Hit subscribe while you're there. We're working our way up towards 25,000 subscribers. I think we could try to hit that around the summer.
I like that.
We're about 2,500 short of that right now. So make sure you visit, hit subscribe. Send us your messages in the chat as well. Contribute to the conversation.
Just to give everybody a little peek behind the curtain. Yesterday we had a very unique technical glitch in that the television that is here in the studio that I see I see the YouTube feed on. So I know kind of what I look like, and if I got something hanging out of my nose or whatever, that was on yesterday. So in my mind, even though I knew it wasn't, YouTube was on, so I was performing. I was giving everybody the hands. I was pointing at stuff.
I was updating all the graphics, and nobody saw any of it.
It was straight dress rehearsal, although the audio was live on air. So
got to practice like you play.
Exactly. It was mental reps, right? I'm the backup quarterback that was just sitting behind imagining the plays. But today it's live. So today we got the real thing, right? No more rehearsal. So if you are poking around on YouTube, we definitely appreciate if you stop by and check out our YouTube live stream. You can jump in the comments. You can answer questions. You can start debates. You can go back and forth with other members of our community. And yes, I say this every time. I am competitive. I like chasing goals. I like setting goals. So 25,000. I mean, if we get a nice little postseason run for the Canes here, I want by the time they hoist the cup, us to be hoisting 25,000 subscribers. That's our little side quest. And then I'll make a ring out of like rubber bands or something, and we'll celebrate right alongside him. That's what I'm going for. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. With that being said, Carolina fans, meaning Tar Heel basketball fans, should be celebrating today. I don't know if it's exactly how you drew it up, right? To set the stage, Carolina needs bigs. Carolina desperately needs bigs. And we've seen them get creative with where they're bringing in bigs from, right? There's Logie, who came from, I believe it was South Florida, like a real project player, meaning a lot of traits, but not much production in his college basketball career, 2 years of eligibility. Then they brought in the big man from Northwestern, 7 foot, but he redshirted last year at Northwestern. So he comes in again. It's like, all right, I know you're looking in the right spots, right? I often wonder sometimes, how do you sort through the transfer portal if you're a school like Carolina or any of the others that recruit globally? How, there's whatever the number was, 5,000 people in the portal. How do you sort through it? I think Carolina had a really easy job this time, right? You go to the top of the column that says height, you tap until it sorts descending, and you start at the bigger guys and you work your way down because, right, they already had Matt Abel, right? They already had Terrence Brown. They've already brought in some guys that are ready to play on the perimeter. They needed some guys that are ready to have those players' backs at the bucket. So one of the names that they found is actually a potentially kind of a transfer. I don't even know what you call it anymore.
I think he's just an international freshman.
He's an international freshman who has been playing pro overseas, which just feels more transfer-y than it does recruity, but I'm just making up words now. We're talking about Sayon Keita, 7 foot, 18-year-old from originally from Mali, had been playing in Spain. 7 feet tall, 7.5-inch wingspan, 9 foot 4.5-inch standing reach. This is a player who, if he hits his potential, will be a lottery pick in the NBA. But the issue is, with him being 18 and still, like, you know, you go watch the film. I watched a good amount of it this morning. It stands out how skinny he is. And I, by the way, I get it. Anyone that's ever been through a growth spurt of any kind, you're eating constantly, and you just get skinnier and skinnier as you thin out, right? Now imagine, I had a big growth spurt, brought me up to 6'4". Imagine if it didn't stop for another, like, 10 inches, right? Like, it just kept going and going and going and going. That's where he is, and he's only 18. So the issue is potential is very, very exciting for NBA prospects. Potential is very, very exciting back in the day when you would be playing in college for 3 or 4 years. Potential isn't quite as exciting in a one-and-done era because the NBA will draft you off of potential. College basketball doesn't necessarily get to say, oh, you know, sure, he's scoring 6 points now, but the potential means that his bucket should count 2.5 times. Like, that's not how it works. So you have to evaluate him almost twice if you're Carolina. What can he do for you now? And what does the potential mean he can do for you later in the season? What is the best version of him later in the season? And what will the NBA see in him? Because it still matters if you get players drafted, right? Whether they see their best basketball playing for you or in the NBA, it still matters, right, when you're watching a basketball game and they're going, like, from North Carolina. So you have to evaluate him almost 3 ways. Here's what I would say. I believe Keita can run, and I believe he can defend the bucket, like, not back to the basket post, but meeting guards that are driving at the rim right now. Right? If you need a help defender, he is playing above the box, right? He is way, way vertically talented. He can run right now. Right? If he gets a rebound in outlets, big man taking off, reward him with an oop. He can do that. Everything else is probably something he's going to have to learn. Okay? I see him one day as an elite screen and roll guy, right? Whether it's developing a little pick and pop or crash into the bucket and catching oops and drop passes and everything else. The issue is he's going to be very skinny setting that screen up top, and he's going to get pushed around a little. So the good for Carolina is I believe they need the skills that I think he comes ready-made with. The issue is it probably puts a little bit more of the production, the point scoring, the post defending on other guys. Because I think he can be an elite team defender. I don't know, if he gets caught down low with a true back to the basket big, I think he's going to end up buried under the basket as their footwork is getting them layups. Now the irony of it is this. Watching him, my first thought was, if he can play a bit like Kaman Malawash played for Duke, I think that's best case scenario, right? Have your offensive game develop as the season goes along, but early on, mostly do like straight defense and rebounding things. Malawash was a bigger guy naturally, just kind of more thick frame, but still vertically talented and all those things. The irony is, once almost as soon as I had that thought, I realized that somebody that a lot of people are familiar with, and I even listened how to pronounce this guy's name a bunch of times, Joakim Boumje, I think I got that right, is one of Keita's teammates, is also 7 feet tall, was also class of 2027, reclassified to class of 2026, and is actually seen as a slightly better prospect. He's a Carolina target as well. Carolina, like I said, they sort by height and just take the top guys. Another 7-footer, of course, they're interested, and they've already got Keita. So I'm sure Michael Malone was like, hey, you want to keep that friendship rolling? But the issue is, as of today, this morning on 247, Duke has received crystal ball predictions for that particular talented 7-footer. So I'm going like, oh, look at this. They can develop him like Malawash. And Duke's going, yeah, exactly. That's what we're going to do with him. We're going to get him drafted in the lottery as well. And, hey, our coaching staff has already done it once. Boomja is a slightly more built, but equally as raw prospect. Scores a bunch more, plays a bunch more, but maybe a little bit lower ceiling defensively. But he's a 7-footer, and Carolina needs to stack them like trading cards.
Yeah, and they've already got the Cade Betterman from
Northwestern
as well to add to the size there. I mean, you look at their roster, like it's kind of rounding together a bit now with the latest commitment. You mentioned the guard room, like fairly well fleshed out with Terrence Brown. Matt Abel, they've still got Jaden Young. You've got Abdallas from Virginia Tech, so some decent
and Abdallas
depth there.
brings height. He's 6'9".
Yeah, he's tall for a guard for sure. And then in terms of forwards and bigs, you've got Jaron Stevenson returning.
I keep failing. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I keep failing to mention Stevenson. I think Stevenson is better fit when he can use some of his perimeter stuff.
And that experience is going to be important, especially on a team like this where you're kind of portaling a lot, freshman additions as well. There's not going to be a ton of continuity. A new coach as well. So just having somebody who's kind of been around the facility and knows at least what it's like playing at Carolina for a year will, I think, be a little bit valuable. And then you've got these freshman commitments as well that are their impact remains to be seen. But Maximo Adams, Sayon Keita, we'll see what they're able to do. But it's kind of rounding into form a little bit. You're starting to see like what this team might actually look like, when they actually take the court in the fall.
The one thing I still think they're missing is a true powerful post.
Yeah, it's looking like they may be lacking in physicality at this point.
And we've seen, like, if I said this about Van Allen Lubin for them going into last year, or 2 years ago. Goodness, because Vasar was big enough and all of that, and Caleb Wilson was a freak. There are certain players who might be tall, but you don't want them to be the biggest dude on the floor for you. That's how Jaron Stevenson looks to me, right? He's like 6'10", but you don't want him to be the biggest guy on the floor. You want to play him with somebody who is, even if they're not taller than him, they're bigger than him, right? You know what I mean? They identify more as a post than him. And I'm not sure if they have that yet. Like, Abdallas is big. He's 6'9", right? If he and Jaron Stevenson were 6'9" and like grew up thinking they were Patrick Ewing, then I think it would work. Like, those two guys could be the tallest guys on the floor for you. But they didn't, right? They very obviously grew up thinking they can dribble and they can shoot, and they can. So you wouldn't want to curtail that. Keita, excuse me. I don't know if he is that guy. He definitely is tall enough, and if he works to embrace it, maybe. But I still think you're at a little bit, just a little bit, vulnerable to getting bullied. And that's just really tough to deal with in the ACC, as a few teams that we cover have seen in the last couple of years.
They could have used the size, or they still could use the size of Maxim Logue, but as Inside Carolina reported, he could potentially not be eligible for next season due to apparently not meeting all the requirements to play. So we'll monitor that situation as well.
He's a project anyway, but I was unaware of the eligibility concerns.
Yeah, but it's just you can never have too much size. I mean, we saw with Carolina specifically, it was 2 seasons ago now, and then it was kind of the same across the triangle at State this past season. Ironically, both teams featured Van Allen Lubin as a main big. Like, you can never have too much size.
Or just look around at the teams that played well. Michigan was gigantic. Yeah. Arizona was gigantic. Duke, on average, even without like a 7-footer, was really, really big.
There's good positional size at Duke.
Virginia just rolled 7-footers at you and blocked 1 billion shots in the ACC tournament. There were a lot of teams that were, I think, playing above their talent level simply by being tall. And it's crazy to think that that's like news in basketball, right? If you see a tall person walking down the street, you're tempted to go, do you play basketball, right? It's so universally accepted. But I think some teams were getting too cute with the small ball era and forgot that like 7-footers down low really help your defense.
Oh, yeah. I've a couple of buddies of mine were putting together a rec basketball team. Somebody just randomly met a guy who's like 6'9" at Broogaloo last weekend, and we got him to join the team. So that could be an absolute weapon in the Raleigh Rec League. And expand that out when you're talking about college hoops where obviously the talent all around the court is so much higher. Having those couple of extra inches and stronger guys, like, it can make all the difference.
I don't even know if I should admit this on air, but this is a hilarious story from my high school basketball career. So I'm literally a hair under 6'4", 6'3" and 7/8 officially. I was the shortest guy in my high school starting lineup my junior year. We went 6'10", 6'9", 6'5", 6'5", 6'4". And this is not an exaggeration. We were awful. We were so bad. But walking off that bus, walking into a foreign gym, they don't know who we are for like a Christmas tournament. Whoo boy, did they get scared.
They're like, who are these monstars coming into the gym?
And then we started warming up, and they went, oh, never mind. We're okay. It was not good. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Shout out to my guys, though. Not picking on us. It's just the truth. Let's go and take a break. When we come back, football at 4. Rounds 5, round 6, round 7. What did the Panthers add at the end of the draft? Stick around.
Coach, we have got to plan. I mean, we're out there, we're spending the money as fast as it comes in, and we're not paying ourselves first.
Sometimes we spend it faster than it comes in.
Yeah.
That's when we build debt up. We don't want to build debt. We want our money growing for us, not against us.
I mean, when the money comes in, you put the money in your retirement account, and then you pay everything else.
Well, what's a retirement account? See, the confusion these days, and it's why we know that a real retirement account is going to give you lifetime income you can't outlive and can't go away. But yet Wall Street tells you they have a retirement account that'll give you this magic return. And you put the money in, and all of a sudden you start losing money. And you have fees. And all of a sudden the money's not there. So you have to have a real retirement account. I'm a retirement income certified professional. I've been in this industry for 33 years helping people plan for retirement. I want to help your listeners. So the next 10 of you who call, I'm going to put together a plan that you can depend on at no cost.
919-794-7900. 919-794-7900. Or text Amanda to 600-700.
Amanda Daughtry is a paid spokesperson. Investment advisory services offered by Capital Financial Advisory Group, a North Carolina registered investment advisor.
As a social influencer, my days can be busy. 4 a.m., I hit the gym. 4:32, protein smoothie. 5:08, save time and money bundling my home and auto insurance with Progressive. Wait, if I bundle and save time, what would I do then? Just sit here and reflect? Like, why am I qualified to influence anyone? And how those weights are hollow? And half of my followers are bots.
You could save time and money bundling your home and auto when you switch to Progressive. It's one less thing to worry about during your already busy day. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Tired of hearing this from your local tire place?
Sorry, we can't fix it. Take it to Dauntless.
This year, skip the middleman and take your car straight to Dauntless Transmissions if you want quality work done right the first time. Transmissions, engine, or brake work, or just a regular tune-up. If it's broke, Dauntless will fix it. For quality work done with the kind of experience that works for you, take it to Dauntless Transmissions first. Go to DauntlessTransmissions.com to book your visit today. Dauntless Transmissions, your local source for exceptional service.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Studio, WCMC HD1 Holly Springs, 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner, looking at some isolated showers on and off, especially through the middle of the afternoon, and then a round of thunderstorms potentially this evening. That's when we could end up with 1 or 2 storms that produce some wind damage. Our high this afternoon is in the mid-70s. It stays cloudy and cool tonight with a low of 55, and we're back to partly cloudy skies tomorrow with a high of 75.
4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 280 points today to 48,861.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4. It's Wednesday. The draft finished over the weekend. Obviously, in the NFL drafts, most of the immediate reaction, as it should, by the way, I'm not saying this is incorrect, but it's just how it goes to the first couple of rounds, right? And percentage-wise, that's where you're going to find the most all-pros. The fact that when you argue, like, a sixth-rounder could be an all-pro, and then we list off memory, like all of the sixth-rounders that have been all-pros in the last however many years. Tom Brady, Richard Sherman, Terrell Davis. It's like, if you can name them, there's a reason why, right? Name all the all-pros that were drafted in the first round. You can't because there's too many of them, right? So it's appropriate that a lot of it is focused on the first handful. But the accelerators, if that's another way to describe it, the ones that take your rebuild if you're rebuilding, your build if you're building, your level up, whatever you want to call it, and make it go faster than you anticipated, are when you find, it doesn't have to be all pros, it doesn't have to be superstars, contributors at the end of the draft. Because you're not banking on that. That's found money, right? That's the money in you put on your jacket for the first time since last winter, you got $20 in there. That's money you didn't anticipate having, right? It's going to be a good day. That's a 5th round pick. That's a 6th round pick. That's a 7th round pick. Matter of fact, a lot of 7th round picks will get cut before even the first season starts, right? It's that kind of low risk. So I thought what we would do here is look at the end of the draft. It's a Wednesday, right? We Monday, or actually last Friday, debate the first round pick. Monroe Freeling, rah, rah, rah. Monday, react to the rest of the draft. Tuesday, mid-rounders, 3rd round. Let's look late. With the 4th pick in the 5th round, they took Sam Hecht, center from Kansas State. There's a theme here, by the way. With the 11th pick in the 5th round, they took Zakee Wheatley, safety from Penn State. And then with the 11th pick of the 7th round, they didn't have a 6th rounder after trading up and around and doing a bunch of stuff. In the 7th round, they took Jackson Kuwach, linebacker from Miami, the Ohio version. Those are seen, and it's off-ball backer and the Miami player. Those are seen as super-duper non-premium positions. Okay, if you were to rank positions by their premiumness, those 3 are all near the bottom, which makes sense, right? If you're in the middle of the round and there's a tie, you have 2 players graded the same, well, you're going to take the one at the premium position every time, which is going to push the others further and further down the list. Another way to put it is this. I believe, actually, I should double-check this before I say it on air. It's 4th or 5th. Monroe Freeling, the Panthers' first round pick. I believe, as I'm just stalling while I bring up my notes here. Yes, he was the 5th tackle taken, right? Fano from Utah went to the Browns. Maui Goa from Miami went to the Giants. Proctor from Alabama went to the Dolphins, although they did say he's going to play guard to start things off. Blake Miller from Clemson went to the Lions. And then finally, with the 19th pick, Monroe Freeling from Georgia went to Carolina. He's the fifth left tackle taken. Hecht was taken in the 5th round. He was the 5th center off the board. He was the 5th center drafted. Okay? So if you're looking for players that can contribute right now, or at least if they need to, you're comfortable having them contribute right now in the later rounds, it's smart to go non-premium position. And Hecht is a perfect example of that. He'll start off on the depth chart, likely behind Luke Fortner, who's on a 1-year, $2.75 million deal, a guy with starts in the NFL, a guy with experience. I wouldn't be surprised if he beats him out. Coming into the draft, Hecht was according to The Athletic, widely predicted as a 3rd to 4th round pick. Matt Miller of ESPN, just as an example, one of their draft analysts, had Hecht as his number 1 center on the board, best center in the draft. They got him in the 5th round. So if you look at the Carolina Panthers offensive line as it stands right now, especially once you add either Walker or Freeling to left tackle, they probably feel pretty darn good about every spot other than center. And in the 5th round, they may have gotten a contributor. Now, center is a difficult position to adjust into the NFL. There's a lot of thinking. There's a lot of chemistry. There's a lot of calls made. But if he can get that under control, there's no reason why you can't have a player that you're at least comfortable playing in the 5th round. That's gigantic. Cheap, by the way, which when you have the most expensive offensive line in the NFL, it's important to find ways to build depth with a little bit of bargain shopping. So I give them a lot of credit for that pick. Zakee Wheatley, Safety, Penn State, 11th pick of the 5th round. Not to toot my own horn too much here, I predicted this pick. Now, it wasn't with this exact pick because they had a different 5th rounder before the draft. But in the 5th round, I predicted that they would take Zakee Wheatley from Penn State. And I'm not even acting like I got the evaluation right. I'm not saying like, oh, I knew that he was good and they see it the same way. No. I read one clip about him that said he needs to be better in his run fit angles, but he is a willing defender, willing tackler, and in coverage is where he found his strength, right? He was a very balanced, good ball skills, solid feel for concepts. That's what stuck out to me because I went, well, that's what the Panthers need. I don't think Dan Morgan, GM of the Panthers, will ever draft a player described as a finesse player. I don't think he's ever going to take the guy who, goes in with the Deion Sanders mentality. Deion Sanders in his NFL or his Pro Football Hall of Fame speech said people used to tell me I didn't tackle enough. Well, I tackled every bill my mom ever was given. I tackled every bill my kids were ever, given growing up, whatever it was. He didn't need to tackle to be great, right? He was out there making money. I don't think the Panthers will ever draft that guy. So what they needed to find, because they have the Trayvon Merricks, they have the Lathan Ransom, they have these safeties that are already physical tacklers, they needed to find somebody who thrived in coverage because that's the missing puzzle piece in the secondary, somebody that thrived in coverage but also was a willing tackler and defender because that way Dan Morgan can look at himself in the mirror after making the pick. Now, will he end up playing? He's going to have to go likely beat out Nick Scott. And Nick Scott is a veteran, and there's other things that go into that. But if he has to play, at least he comes with the reputation of somebody that I think fits with the rest of your secondary. And then there's Jackson Kawach, linebacker, Miami of Ohio. Apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. Did watch a good amount of film this morning, but I watch with music on and mute the announcers because helps me zen out and make my opinions. First thing, he grew up watching Luke Kuechly, right? He claims that the Panthers were his favorite team, and he was actually his favorite player and still is his favorite player ever, Luke Kuechly. I don't know if that's pandering, but if it is, it's going to work with Panther fans. It is. 7th round, I'm not going to sit here and blow too much smoke, okay? I'm not expecting darn near anything on defense. He could contribute on special teams. Matter of fact, my advice to him if he wants to make the team is contribute on special teams, be at every special teams meeting early, be flying down there on every kind of coverage, be begging for more reps on every kind of protection, and then perhaps work your way up. But right now it appears as if the top 3 linebacker spots are going to be Devin Lloyd, obviously, Trevin Wallace, and Claudin Cherlis. And I don't want to let people forget, Roseboom I thought was solid last year. They found him on the scrap heap right before training camp, right? Because now I'm blanking on his name. They had the off-ball backer who basically retired right before camp. And again, I apologize for blanking on his name. But then Roseboom was found as a quick replacement and played well at times. At times was really good. At times left some to be desired. But I don't know if that linebacker room is done, is what I'm saying. The player from Miami of Ohio we're discussing is a 7th-round pick. The 40 time at his pro day was reportedly 4.64. Big dude, tall dude, 6'4", 235. He comes with some things that are going to get you excited. But again, 7th-round pick, I'm not expecting much. The 5th-rounders, I wouldn't be surprised if they're playing a good amount. If you're unfamiliar with it, there's a player performance pool. The NFL sets aside a big stack of cash every year that they dole out based on how much players overperform their contracts. It's a way that they guarantee that if somebody is playing 500 snaps, but they're a 6th-round rookie making, not nearly as much as they should, that they're made whole a bit. I would not be surprised if Hecht and Wheatley both are getting paid a good chunk out of that because they're going to be on 5th-round rookie contracts, but might end up, especially second half of the year, finding their way onto the field a good amount. That's good. It's good drafting. Again, I like the draft as a whole for the Panthers. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Coming up next here on The Drive, Max puts me through a game of blind rankings, and we both hit our HurriCons and Cons. What are you most confident about? What are you most concerned about for the Carolina Hurricanes going into round 2? That's all next here on The Drive.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. Join me and my co-host Chris Lee from WRAL TV as our podcast Panthers Playbook rolls on this offseason, presented by Wake Orthopedics. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Carolina Panthers news as we break down the NFL draft, insights on free agents and prospects, plus all the inside information on the offseason. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%, and most people are only making the minimum payment, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. But here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit cards, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. And here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at near 3-year lows. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This is what WRAL weather coverage sounds like.
Thunderstorm warning right now in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
When your safety is a priority.
An indication that there is a tornado on the ground, so get in your safe spot
in this area, get in your safe spot right now.
With the tools that make a difference.
WRAL Storm Tracker is inside the storm.
WRAL has the only dual Doppler radar in Wake County.
Hear it and see it every day.
It looks like the storm is doing exactly what we predicted to do.
That's WRAL News. Weather coverage you can count on.
Saturday, May 2nd, cheer on the North Carolina Courage as they host the reigning NWSL Shield champs, Kansas City Current. Bring the family for an affordable night with free parking, no ticket fees, and pregame fan fest fun for all ages. Tickets are going fast. Grab yours now at tickets.nccourage.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Max Gorn, by the way, give him a round of applause. He's pulling the double header today. He produced the Adam Gold Show. He is producing this show as well. Let's play two, says Ernie Banks. Do you get that reference? Probably not, youngster. Youngster with old music taste is Max Gorn. But that doesn't mean his job is any easier for us. He's pitching the doubleheader, but he still has to have things ready to roll, which is why we've entrusted him with today's blind ranking. All right, Max, what are we blind ranking today?
All right, since we're kind of right in the thick of the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs in the NHL, and the NBA playoffs as well, I figured we are going to blind rank the most entertaining playoff series that are going on right now. So these are all series that are currently still in action. So the Canes sweep will not be here. Neither will the Avalanche's sweep of the LA Kings, nor will the Oklahoma City Thunder sweeping the Phoenix Suns be here. Obviously, those will probably all get ranked number 5, except for the Canes one, because we're excited about that. But you know how it is. So these are all series that are going on right now. We're going to go 1 through 5.
Okay, so we're doing one ranking for both NHL and NBA combined.
Yes, so there's a combination of both in here. Yep.
All right. So we're just going, and this is by entertainment value.
Yes, like which ones you're like most excited to watch or have enjoyed the most up to this point.
All right, I like this. A little outside the box. I think there's less right and wrong here, so I can talk myself into anything. Go ahead and lead us off.
All right, we're going to start off on the ice, and we're going to go with the Minnesota Wild and Dallas Stars. So they just played Game 5 down in Dallas last night. Minnesota ended up coming away with the win to take a 3-2 series lead. These are the second and third best teams in the Western Conference in the NHL, but due to the NHL playoff format, they are facing off in the first round of the playoffs, and they're going to head back to Minnesota, where the Wild will try to close it out, and the Stars will try to extend and bring it back home for Game 7. So 1 through 5, where would you blindly rank the Wild and Stars series in terms of playoff entertainment value?
I mean, it's tough. It's tough to put in anything other than 1. We'll see if I talk myself into it. I like when series have true like pendulum swings. Minnesota won that first game by 1 billion, and then a couple of close games they're down 2-1. A couple of close games they're up 3-2. Like it's a true pendulum swing. They've been to overtime a few times. There's been controversies. There's been funny goals. There's been some enjoyment where I thought, a guy like Mikko Rantanen was not doing his job at times, which is fun for us. I'm always nervous to put something 1 right out the gate. But if I'm like, this is as an objective fan. This is not somebody with like Kane's rooting interest, because then everything, I'm enjoying watching Pittsburgh-Philly, but that's really just because.
Yeah, just objective entertainment. Yeah. Like how much you get jacked up to watch, get excited to watch, how much you were enjoying watching the games.
I'll put it 2, just to give myself a little bit of room. But they also, as you said, they like artificially get boosted because it's the second and third best teams in the West. That shouldn't happen in the first round. So it's like it's artificially better than it should be.
Yeah.
So I'll put it 2, but it probably should be 1.
Maybe a bonus of the NHL playoff format? Maybe is it a good thing that we're seeing?
No, it's not, because
no, definitely not.
Because you want the better, like you don't want either of these teams to be 100% eliminated by the next.
And then they also get to play the best team in the West in Colorado in the second round, whoever gets through this meat grinder of our series.
Which is also dumb, but that's a conversation for a whole other day. I mean, if you're an NHL fan, you better be enjoying this series, because that's the whole reason why this exists, is to get these better matchups earlier. But I don't think it's the right way to do things.
All right, we'll flip it over now to the hardwood for the second one. We're going to give you the Lakers and the Rockets series. So the Lakers are up 3-1 right now. They'll play Game 5 tonight in LA, where the Lakers will hope to close it out, and the Rockets will try to extend. There's been some injury trouble on both sides. Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic have not played for LA, although Reeves is expected to come back soon. And then for the Rockets, Kevin Durant has had injury issues as well, has missed a few games in this series. I don't think he's missed all of them, but has not been available for every game. LeBron in vintage form, other than the last game the Rockets got their first win of the series after being down 3-0. Other than that, he's been in vintage form at age 41. Where do you rank this Lakers and Rockets series in your blind ranking?
I'm putting it number 3. I think I've already messed up. I think Wild Stars should be 1 and Lakers Rockets should be 2. But I'm gonna keep it in the order I want and hope that something trumps it. But Wild versus Stars 2, Lakers versus Rockets 3. Again, I think I'm kind of the only one who sees it this way. I enjoy seeing LeBron try to put the cape on.
No, I think most basketball fans enjoy that.
It seemed like everybody was really disappointed when Luka and Austin Reeves got hurt, and really disappointed when Kevin Durant obviously isn't 100% not playing. I like seeing the ghosts get one more. I'm maybe one of the only people out there who's like, no, if you want to keep playing, keep trying, right? Everyone's always like, gosh, just retire, move on. I'm going like, I don't know. I want to see him play as long as possible. Maybe we only get 1 out of every 50 games where he looks like him, but that's 1 more out of every 50 games that we get to see him look like him. And a few times this series, it's been like, oh, wow, there's LeBron. That's not LeBron James, the longevity goat. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's LeBron right there. It's the one I remember. So it's been fun for me. I don't think either of these teams is a real threat to win a championship or anything like that, but this series has been fun, so I'll put them 3.
All right, so you've got Wild and Stars at 2 and Lakers and Rockets at 3. So next time we'll go back to the ice. Okay. I'll give you the Anaheim Ducks and the Edmonton Oilers. This has been the highest scoring series of the first round in the NHL. Ducks lead at 3-2 last night. Edmonton staved off elimination with a pretty dominant 4-1 win, which is actually like the lowest scoring game they've had so far in this series. They chased the goaltender maybe 10 minutes into the first period. Connor McDavid was a game-time decision, but in my opinion, there was no way he was ever not playing, and there was no way the Oilers were ever losing last night with the season on the line. So they head back to Anaheim, where the upstart Ducks will try to knock them off. Where do you put the Ducks and Oilers series in your blind ranking of most entertaining playoff series right now?
It's a good series. I don't like when injuries are too big of a part of a series like this. Like the McDavid, will he play, will he not? At the beginning of the series, it was will Draisaitl play, will he not? Also, like, credit to Anaheim that they've held McDavid pointless a few times. But if I'm watching the Oilers-Ducks and I'm not a Oilers or Ducks fan, I want to see McDavid do McDavid things.
Well, he's got 6 points in 5 games now, so.
Yeah, but what is it, 1 goal?
Yeah, 1 goal.
I think it's 1 goal.
Goal scoring is not his forte, though.
No, it's not. But in the big moments, and the first 2 games, he had 0. So for the first 2 games, I would have tuned in like, let's see appreciate greatness. Let me see this legendary McDavid, and it wouldn't happen. So I'm putting them 4. It's a good series. It is a good series, don't get me wrong. And it's kind of fun to see Oilers backs against the wall have to scratch and claw. Don't get me wrong, kind of fun. But yeah, it's, to me, I have it below the other 2 series that we've talked about.
All right, so in the spirit of keeping it alternating, we'll go back to the hardwood now. And
I got to keep that in my mind that we're likely, we have 2 more. We're likely getting 1 of each. So
it may be. We'll see. This next one, again, back to the NBA. We're going to go to Denver and Minnesota, the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. Timberwolves are leading this series 3-2, but in Game 4, lost Anthony Edwards and Dante DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo out for the rest of the season and probably the start of next year as well with I believe it was a torn Achilles.
It definitely looked like it.
And then Anthony Edwards is week to week with a left knee hyperextension. Don't think we'll be seeing him in the rest of the series either. Nuggets got the win in Game 5 to make it 3-2, so now they head back to Minnesota. Timberwolves will try to close it out at home in Game 6, but again, are going to be missing 2 very key contributors going up against likely the best player in the NBA, at least if you ask me, in Nikola Jokic, and he's got quite a good supporting cast there as well. So you've got the 1 and the 5 slot open for the Nuggets and Timberwolves. Where are you putting this one?
Yeah, with only 1 and 5 open, this one's easy. It's going 5. The least favorite athletic event that I've watched in weeks is the Saturday game between Denver and the Timberwolves, because I had to cringe watching injuries twice to players that dramatically changed the future of the series. I was actually looking at this earlier so I can reference it. ESPN Matchup Predictor puts their game tomorrow, literal coin flip. 50-50, 50% win for each team. If you take away the best player on the Timberwolves and another really, really good player on the Timberwolves, and it's 50-50, that's kind of like, oh man, they're getting robbed here. And then on top of that, anytime you see someone hurt an Achilles, it's just brutal. They just lean forward, ready to run, and they just fall, and I hate it. So number 5, and that's the easiest one we've had so far.
All right, well, I honestly, in my opinion, I think you nailed it here at the top, because the last one you have left is the Montreal Canadiens and the Tampa Bay Lightning. They are tied 2-2 in this series. I think the first 3 games all went to overtime, and the Game 4 was kind of trending that way before a goal by Tampa Bay with about 5 minutes left. Really curved Montreal's momentum at home, and they were able to steal the win to even it up. So now they go back to Tampa for Game 5 tonight, and that's going to slot into your 1 slot. I think I would probably put that 1 as well. What do you think about your ranking here? So you've got Montreal and Tampa at 1. You've got the Wild and the Stars at 2. Lakers, Rockets 3. Ducks, Oilers 4. And Nuggets, Timberwolves at number 5. I
kind of love it. The Canadiens Lightning series is very much one that, again, if you remove, you got some prior feelings about the Lightning likely if you're a Canes fan, but if you remove that, it has been just a very exciting series. It's been close every game. Obviously, the series is close at 2-2. High stakes. There's a little bit of dislike there. There's good players on both sides. I think it's a really exciting series. So yeah, I'm good with that. So blindly, I ranked. Luckily, I saved that 1 spot open for Lightning Canadiens. Number 2 was Wild versus Stars. 3 Lakers Rockets. 4 Oilers Ducks. 5 Nuggets Timberwolves. I'm fine with that. I actually kind of enjoy that. Max, as always, when we play blind rankings, I had to rank it blind. You get to rank them with the gift of sight. How would you rank these if you had full vision?
Yeah, I'd probably agree with you on the top 2. I mean, the Lightning and Canadian series has just been, every game is so close, and they keep flashing the stat up on the screen during the game. It's like this series has been tied like 75% of the time or something like that. And that series and the Wild and the Stars were the two coming into the playoffs. I was like, these two are going to be appointment television, and they definitely have paid off. As much as I like watching the LeBron kind of unlock the vintage form, I'd probably slide that one down. The Ducks-Oilers has been just a goal fest, which is it's always exciting. That's how it always is with the Oilers in the playoffs. It's not going to be a defensive game. It's going to be high-flying. I'd probably put that 3. I'd probably put the Nuggets-Wolves 4 just because this kind of new rivalry that they've kind of formed with all these matchups and all these crazy games they play. I know the injuries suck, but also just getting to watch Jokic is like such a pleasure because he's every possession down the floor, he's getting some kind of stat. He's either getting a board or he's throwing some like behind the head assist or he's splashing a 3 or it's just so impressive to watch. And then I put the Lakers Rockets at the bottom just because as fun as it is to watch LeBron, like the Lakers are about to win probably in 5 games if they close it out tonight, and it's hard to put a 5-game series ahead of any of these other ones that are on the list.
I like my list.
It's a good list for a blind ranking. I mean,
I'm not 100% sure that's going to be a 5-game series either.
Yeah, the Rockets, they could win tonight, but if Reeves is back and especially if KD doesn't play for the Rockets, like I would not like their chances of winning tonight.
We'll see. We'll see. But I like my list, and you're allowed to like yours. Be as wrong as you want to be. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's go ahead and give out a keyword, shall we? Text right now our hourly keyword. We do this once an hour, today, tomorrow, and Friday. Once an hour, you can get an entry. And as long as you text in the keyword before the start of the next hour, so by 5 o'clock, you will gain your entry into this competition. And the winner, who will be notified on Monday, will win a pair of tickets to Carolina Hurricanes Round 2, Game 2, playoff hockey here in Raleigh. The keyword for this hour is hockey. HOCKEY. One word. That's all you have to text in. Text hockey to 919-860-5326 by 5 o'clock today. By 5 p.m. today, that's when it expires. As long as you text in hockey to 919-860-5326 before 5 o'clock, you will gain this hour's entry into our playoff ticket giveaway. You could win yourself a pair of tickets to Game 2 of Round 2 for the Carolina Hurricanes at home against whoever they end up playing, either Philly or Pittsburgh. Text it in now. Keyword hockey, HOCKEY, to 919-860-5326. I'll do my best to remind you again before the top of the hour, but if I forget, don't say I didn't tell you at least once.
I'll remember.
All right, so let's try right before the top of the hour. Let's try to make sure we remind everybody, but you have to text it in by 5, so you gotta work quick anyway. With that being said, let's keep it on the Carolina Hurricanes here on 99.9 The Fan and fire up a little HurriCons and Cons.
But to play great defense, you need one thing above all else.
That starts with a W.
Confidence.
What are you most confident in? What are you most concerned about for the Carolina Hurricanes as they continue to wind down and then gear up for Round 2? As always, you're allowed to be, and most of us probably are, more confident in more than one thing about the Carolina Hurricanes and concerned about more than one thing about the Carolina Hurricanes, but that's not the game. You have to pick the single most. What are you most concerned? What are you most confident? So I would call it HurriCons and Cons. As always, hey, I've got good news and bad news. Which do you want first? You always take the bad news, so we start with the concerns. Max, lead us off. What are you concerned about for the Canes?
I mean, it's just, I feel like this team does not play great off of a long layoff. And we also, at this point, don't even know how long the layoff is going to be until they play their next game. It's going to be at least a week between games at the very minimum, and that's if they played on Saturday, which is not looking super likely, the way that other series are playing out in the league, and particularly the Eastern Conference. I could see them getting a little bit out of the rhythm. They were playing really well down the stretch of the regular season. Even when they sat out a lot of key contributors, they were still winning games and looking really sharp. And then obviously they sweep Ottawa. Defensively, incredible. The second line on offense was really good. Could use a couple more contributions from some other key pieces of the lineup, but regardless, did more than enough to get the win and finish them off rather quickly. Now you kind of get out of that rhythm, and it's good to have injured guys maybe heal up a little bit and guys rest up a little bit after playing all season and getting through a physical series, particularly a physical Game 4. But I don't know. I think maybe I'd prefer them to maybe be able to stay in the rhythm of how they were playing because they were locked in, playing really well. Now you have to kind of get out of that game speed for a week and a half before jumping back into that intense environment. So the long layoff is a little bit of a concern for me, even though if it may have some positives on the other side of the sword. But I just don't love having such a long gap between games.
I hope when it comes to that, the fact that they've been through the postseason and they've won so many postseason series in the last, better part of a decade, and they've won some quick and they've won some with short layovers and long layovers and whatever you want. Like, I hope they've figured out what they need, right? As a player, you should know, like, can I ramp it down or should I be going 100% every practice? Should I be getting extra skating? Should I be working out hard? Or can I disconnect and unplug and then ramp it back up and flip the switch? You should know by now for most of the core. Obviously, the Stankovens, the Blakes, some of the younger guys, Bussy, they're still trying to figure it out. But, the vets should know, and Rod Brindamore should have a pretty good idea on how to keep a team locked in or vice versa, how to appropriately get them disconnected and then log them back on and ready to go. I'm hoping that they have a bunch of experience in that matters. My concern, I said this last week, I said it the week before, I am not a superstitious person, but I am trying to respect everyone else's superstition. Okay, so I'm not just going to flaunt it. I'm not going to, go out there and, open umbrellas inside and walk under ladders just because I don't believe in it and make all of you worried. So there was someone for our first playoff game that we did outside the plaza, right? We did our show outside the plaza, walked right in for, I think it was game 2 of the first round. And somebody came up to me and said, every time goalie is not your concern, they start playing bad. And then as soon as you put them back on your concerns, they start playing well again. I was like, really? And he talked me all the way through it. He went through at first with Piotr's injury, they were your concern, and Bussy was playing lights out. And then eventually you finally started trusting Bussy, and you said is no longer the concern. And then he needed to refine his game, and Freddie the same. So my concern is goalie. Freddie played great in the first round. A long break for a goalie. That's something that's difficult to deal with. Brandon Bussy hasn't played in a long time. If you have to go to him, I guess I'm just concerned about it. And I'm respecting that person's superstition. I don't think what I say is a concern or not impacts the team whatsoever. But because that person thought it did, my concern is goalie. And by the way, every team could say that. Goalie's that important. You gotta have a great pitching staff. I'm worried about the pitching staff. It just impacts the game so much that it could be a concern. Let's get to the more fun part. What are you confident in when it comes to the Carolina Hurricanes heading into round 2?
I mean, how do you not say you're confident in the second line? The way that Logan Stankoven, Taylor Hall, and Jackson Blake have been playing basically the last half of the year and then in this first playoff series, I feel like nobody wants to go up against them on the ice. The way that they're buzzing around, they have great chemistry. The puck's finally finding the back of the net for Stankoven, which is really great to see because he's been generating chances all year, and he's adapting well to his new position. He just seems to be getting more and more confident and better as the days go by. And it's hard not to be confident in the way that line has been playing. Every time I see them on the ice, it's just buzz, 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 buzz. They're doing something positive. And coming into the Ottawa series, some Ottawa fans and Canadian media said, "Oh, well, if they might get shut down by the Pinto line." Well, that didn't happen. So ask me again if they got shut down. If you look at the stats page, of all the playoff leaders in scoring, goal scoring, and point scoring. Like, you'll see Taylor Hall's name up there.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see Logan Stankoven's name up there. Jackson Blake didn't have as many points as the other two, but he was still really good. Had a big goal in Game 3 that helped them win that game on the road and take a 3-0 series lead. So impossible not to be confident in those guys. And I like how the young guys, and Stankoven was good in the playoffs last year too, but I especially like how Jackson Blake looks a lot more comfortable out there in a playoff environment, because he got pushed around a little bit last year, but every part of his game has improved. He's scoring more, and he looks a lot more comfortable with the physicality of playoff hockey as well.
Mine is, I wrote Stankoven line, second line, that line, whatever you want to call them. That's my confidence as well. But, it goes into what I was saying yesterday, which is it's not new, right? If it were a line that just, hadn't been playing great to end the regular season, and look, now they played great for a series, I don't know if I'd be as confident, right? Because series to series, it's so different. Maybe they wouldn't be as good a matchup against their next opponent as they were against Ottawa, or whatever it was, right? Maybe they just lose the rhythm. But what is Stankoven now on, like an 11-game point streak? Something crazy like that?
I believe it's 12.
12-game point streak? That didn't start 4 games ago. You know what I mean? That started a while ago. Jackson Blake, Taylor Hall, they've been playing well for months against a bunch of different opponents, and it's been a few times where the rest of the team was maybe in a lull and they were dragging them and being the spark. So I'm confident because it wasn't just against Ottawa. It was prior to. They've been playing well for a long time, and the advanced analytics say they've been playing well pretty much all season, because there was a point in time where they had, expected goals were all very high and they just weren't converting. Now, and they have been for the last few months, they are converting as well, and it's just a really good line at this point. It's just a really good line at this point. And yes, in case you're wondering, beyond this season, Jackson Blake and Logan Stankoven are combined for 16 more years under contract with the Canes. That's crazy. Good bit of business by Eric Tulsky. So they're my confidence as well. If you have concerns or confidences, things that you are most concerned about, things that you are most confident in about the Carolina Hurricanes heading into round 2, we want to hear from you. Send them to our YouTube live stream. By the way, YouTube back up and running today after we had some time with it offline. Back up and running our live stream. You can go into YouTube, down below this video, and comment. What are you most concerned? What are you most confident in when it comes to the Carolina Hurricanes ahead of their second round matchup? And let us just hope that next Wednesday we're not doing HurriCons and Cons, still talking about getting ready for round 2. I would highly doubt it. Tuesday's probably the latest, but I hope not. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, the NCAA Tournament is expanding. What does this do to college basketball? Stick around.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here real quick for my friends over at Law Tigers. One of the things that I enjoy about being a motorcycle rider and just being out on my bike is just the freedom that you feel when it comes to being out there on the road. You enjoy the open road. There's no distractions around you. It's just a simple feeling of peace when you're out there on your motorcycle. That's something that I enjoy. And that's the thing about Law Tigers and their attorneys, is that Law Tigers was created by riders for riders. They understand the feeling of being out there on the motorcycle. They are part of the motorcycle riding community. That's why if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, you got to give Law Tigers a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you contact the insurance company. Law Tigers, they are there to fight for you. Your case evaluation is always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles, whereas the insurance companies, they want to give you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
All of my life, all I heard from Mets fans were, oh, you Yankees fans, all you do is buy championships. If we had as much money as you, we'd have 27 just like you guys. The New York Mets have the highest cash payroll of any team in baseball. $360 million this year.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The NCAA Tournament. Pete Thamel had it first. ESPN, College Sports Insider. It was right at the end of the show yesterday. Reported the NCAA Tournament is going to 76 games. Talking March Madness. Talking brackets. Talking basketball. Does it? I don't even know. Does it take away from how good Thursday and Friday are? There's so many things wrong with this. Thursday and Friday. I mean, let me take a step back here because I'm going to get emotional. I might stop making sense here. So if it stops making sense, I'll do my best to rein it back in. I love March Madness so much, and I don't see a reason to change it. Okay. Because I work in sports radio, because I work in sports media, we do a lot of the dumb conversations that are just purely fun and kind of nonsensical. Things like, what's the greatest weekend in sports? What's the greatest day in sports, right? You see those rankings pop up all the time online or in the slow sports months. And I'll tell you right now, the Thursday, Friday of March Madness, 1 seeds, to use a bracket term. 1 seeds in all of those conversations. And I just don't know why you would do anything that might compromise that. I don't know why you would. Here's how I look at it. If you have something that is awesome, okay, whether you think it's perfect, whether you think it's simply awesome, whatever. If you have something that is awesome, you should need a really, really, really good reason to change it. That seems fair, right? The baseline shouldn't be change it because that risks messing it up. The baseline should be we only change it if there's a really, really good reason to change it. For example, in college football, the bowls used to be awesome. Okay? We used to care about bowls. Who won it wasn't a national championship game. The craziest part, remember the Boise State upset of Oklahoma? That was just for a bowl game. Adrian Peterson was a running back about to be the 7th overall pick, and he was out there playing, taking 1 million carries in overtime against Boise State because we just cared about the Bulls. And the college football playoff and all of this changed everything. But they had a really good reason to change it, and that was they weren't always finding the most deserving national champion because it turns out you could be undefeated and be the 3rd best team in the country and not make the national championship game under that old system. And that's wrong. So a really good reason to change it would be to make sure that doesn't happen. Or you could have an undefeated ACC champion when they expanded to 4, not get in like Florida State. That was a really good reason because competition is a good enough reason to change entertainment. Because at the root of everything, sports is competition. When it comes to college basketball, I refuse to think that it's the same level of complaint that what was it, Auburn that one time was undefeated, the third best team in the country, and didn't make it into the BCS National Championship. I refuse to think that and the 73rd best team in the country not getting in is the same level of – that's not a good enough reason.
The bubble teams this year in the 68-team field, the ones that made it in, were bad already.
Yes.
They were already bad. Like, NC State, love them, was not good. Like, but
and
Miami
teams
of Ohio
that
did go
were
undefeated in the
worse
regular season.
than the teams that were worse than NC State.
The teams that barely missed out were
the ones that
terrible.
were complaining. That's not a good enough reason. It's not. It's simply not a good enough reason, and you need a good reason to change it, because change for the sake of change, it could mess with the money, right? Because everyone, that's what I can hear all of you saying it, by the way. They're doing it for the money. Money, money, money. Money makes the world go round. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Money, money, money. I hear you. But what you have right now is a cash cow. What you have right now is a cash golden goose, egg-laying goose. Why mess with it? You're printing billions every year. Why mess with it? Why risk it? Why take the chance? Don't go new Coke. Don't do it. If everybody is coming to your restaurant because you make the best burgers in town, don't have them show up and go, well, we're only making burgers at lunch now. We're doing vegan at night. Don't change it. Because here's the other thing. Changing for the sake of change, it messes with the records. It messes with the evaluations. How many years in a row did you make the NCAA tournament? Is a thing that people care about. The more teams you add to that, the less impressive it is. How many times did you make it to the second round? How many times? Now, you got to win more games to get there. It's messing with everything. And that's not even something that is easily kind of fixed, right? Because like the NFL added a game. All of a sudden, oh, look at that. Records are being broken on season-long records. You could just make all of those records per game. Right? Per team game played. There you go. There's the new record. I don't know how you do streaks of like making the playoffs or making the tournament and just go, well, it only counts if you're top 64, but what if you're the 13th seed? And it's stupid. It's stupid. And also, like, I've had this debate a few times recently. Doesn't it feel a little everybody gets a trophy like? Like if you whine and complain enough, you'll get in? Like if you're so mad as a power conference team, you're so mad that other conference champions are getting in, and if you whine and complain enough, you'll get in? They'll expand it for you? Oh, you didn't make the team? You walked up to the cork board outside the coach's office, and it had a basketball roster of 12 names, and you didn't make it. And instead of spending that whole year going to the playground outside and working on your jump shot, you complained enough, and they went, okay, we'll keep 15 on the roster this year. I don't like the messaging. I don't like the risk. I don't like what it might do to the tournament. I don't like that. Even a team like Wake Forest, right, that's constantly on the bubble, or Syracuse that's constantly on the bubble, or Virginia Tech that's constantly on the bubble, I don't think they should get in. I don't think it's like, well, if you're that close that often, no.
If you can't make it in a 68-team tournament, you just don't deserve to be in.
Instead of the first snubs being mad, the last 10 in should be wildly thankful. Already. That's how it should be, because they didn't deserve to get in either. There's a handful of teams every year that get in that don't deserve to, because there aren't 68 deserving teams. It's the same thing when every time somebody brings up NFL expansion, saying they want to add more teams. There's 32 teams now, saying they want 2 more because there's markets that they want to have them, right? We need another NFL team in San Antonio. I don't know, wherever they want to put it. Or Mexico City and Toronto. The reason I always push back on that is we don't have enough good starting quarterbacks to fill 32 positions. You think they're going to make more once there's more teams, or are we just going to have more teams with bad quarterbacks tanking and throwing everything off? We don't have 68 teams every year that are worthy of making the NCAA tournament. What makes you think we're going to have 76? You're willing to mess with the whole schedule that we absolutely love for that? It's dumb. What you're going to have is you're going to have like coaches getting fired after making the tournament because it's not going to be that exciting anymore. It's not going to be the thing. And not to mention, I know this is nitpicky, but, it's not going to fit nice on one page when you print out your bracket. I saw somebody send me today a vertical where the bracket was vertical because you had to fit more rounds horizontally, or it was vertical, which meant the lines that you write on are tiny. You're going to have to use abbreviations. You're not going to be able to write like Duke because it's 4 letters. You have to write DU, right? Gosh forbid Miami of Ohio makes it. I don't know what you're going to write there. M, and then you start writing diagonal OH. It's ridiculous. Greed. That's not a good reason. If somebody has a good reason for expanding the NCAA tournament, please let me know. A good reason. Money, greed, not a good reason. Because they're already printing billions and they're risking that. There's another good reason, I'd love to hear it, but I'd be very, very surprised if it's one you guys can come up with. Very, very surprised.
Man, I just started doing bracketology this year, and now it's going to be impossible.
You're going to be predicting 76 teams. You're going to explain the snub to the 78th best team. I know it's not exactly the 78th best team because the majors or whatever.
If you're the first team out of the 76-team field, you suck. Just straight up.
It's bad. What are we doing? NCAA committee, what are we doing? All right, I promised I would remind you about the keyword before the top of the hour, so that might cheer us up a little bit. Text the hourly keyword, which for this hour is hockey, HOCKEY, to 919-860-5326 in the next 5 minutes. You have to have it texted in by 5 o'clock. We can't open it up any further. The machine, the technology will shut it down. It'll expire. Will not accept your text if you don't text it in by 5 o'clock for your chance to win a pair of tickets to Carolina Hurricanes round 2, game 2 of their playoffs. Right, they got round 2 coming up. The winner will be selected and notified Monday, May 4th. You can get a new entry every hour, so the next 5 minutes are your last chance to get the 4 p.m. entry. Text keyword hockey, HOCKEY, to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of Canes playoff tickets. We'll do this again in the next hour at some point. You'll have to be tuned in to find out when. But for the next 5 minutes, the keyword is hockey. Text it in. Good luck to you. Also, I want to tell you all about Maynard Service Company. Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Services. If you don't get tickets to the playoffs, you're going to want to watch it in your house, and you're going to want to be comfortable. And if it's hot outside, as it was a week or two ago, whatever that was, you're going to want your cooling system to work. If it's cold, like it's been a couple of the nights recently, you're going to want your heating system to work. No matter what's going on outside, you're going to want your plumbing to work. And gosh forbid something happens with your electrical system where you're in the middle of watching a gigantic, important game with all of the stakes and the electricity goes on the fritz. So Maynard Service Company, have them out to your house, let them do the once-over, maintenance, service. If there's an emergency, obviously give them a call, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all across the triangle. That's all of Wake County and 50 miles in any direction. But my point is this. If you're going to trust something like the big game to be watched in your house, make sure your house is up for the challenge. Call Maynard Service Company. The phone number, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or visit them online at MaynardServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. As I said, we'll take a break. We still have one more keyword for today coming in the 5 o'clock hour, so tune in for that. And the starting 5 coming up next.
Move your sports day forward.
The Carolina Panthers continue their evolution now 3 years into this front office, and there's promise. What started year one as a refresh turned into a rebuild, and with the latest draft, we see reinforcement. The fifth-year option on Bryce Young, now icing. It's a different mantra from the let's develop dogs mentality. Now it seems, let the dogs hunt.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's bow time. There's something special about the first bite of a Bojangles Cajun filet biscuit. Like an edible alarm clock that slaps you awake with bold Cajun flavor. The moment you sink your teeth into that soft, fluffy, made-from-scratch biscuit, then strike gold with a juicy piece of fried chicken, you'll know. Nothing beats the first bite. Except the second first bite. Get a Cajun filet biscuit combo today at Bojangles. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Time to satisfy your craving for Cajun with a Bojangles Cajun filet biscuit. Enjoy a Cajun fried filet tucked inside a hot made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Make it a combo and add your choice of fixin' and legendary sweet tea. And remember, Bojangles Cajun filet biscuits are served all day, every day. Bojangles Cajun filet biscuit. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Step between the lines when you download the High School OT mobile app presented by State Employees Credit Union. It's easier than ever to find the coverage you want for the sports and schools you cheer for the loudest. Receive up-to-minute alerts, scores, videos, insider content, and the latest high school sports news across the state of North Carolina. Available now on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the High School OT mobile app presented by State Employees Credit Union.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. We have another chance for some scattered storms this evening and tonight, mainly after 8 p.m. Thursday, we'll see high temperatures in the mid-70s, morning clouds and afternoon sun, and there could be a few spotty showers early in the day.
5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 280 points today to 48,861. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call Law Tigers before you call your insurance company. Case evaluations are always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we get into the, actually, you know what? We got the starting five coming up here, and I'm going to make some pivots because since we have Max producing the show, I know he is a nerd in similar ways to me. So let's go ahead and start the starting five here on The Drive, and as always, we start with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I won't play anything here.
Okay,
I don't know
perfect.
what you're pivoting to.
You're as big of a golf nerd as I am.
Oh, now I know what you're pivoting to. I'm very happy about it.
Wall Street Journal, I'll read just the kind of the headline. After weeks on life support, Live Golf has lost the funding of its Saudi backers, sounding the death knell for the upstart league that split pro golf. You're happy about it. Why?
Because Live sucks. It's unwatchable. Nobody cares about it. Obviously, it hemorrhages money because they get no viewership. And they just took a bunch of golfers that, they didn't take a lot of the best golfers, but there's a handful of good golfers that they just took away from the PGA Tour. And I'm not going to turn on the CW and watch Live Golf New Orleans or New Mexico or wherever they're playing and watch them play some crappy municipal course.
But they get to wear shorts.
Even Bryson DeChambeau is complaining about the course conditions, and I'm like, buddy, that's what you signed up for.
Well, he complains about everything.
That's true, but still, and honestly, he was kind of justified when looking at the part of the course where he was making a complaint. It's like it looked like he was playing at RGA. No disrespect to the Raleigh Golf Association, but not exactly a tour quality track. So I'm glad Liv is failing. I hope it goes under sooner rather than later, and then hopefully some of these guys will be allowed back on. Just so we can unify pro golf again, because this whole thing, like, pretty much everyone can agree, it's been stupid from the start. It's a waste of everyone's time, and it's like very much contributing to not ruining a sport, because I still enjoy watching golf, but like they're making it worse, objectively making it worse.
It's bad. It's morally questionable. It's a whole bunch of things. It did have an impact on golf that I think makes the PGA healthier moving forward.
Yeah.
They made some
guys got paid more, which I guess does help.
They made some long-needed changes. I mean, when you looked at some of the prize pools and everything compared to other sporting events that did similar business, it didn't make any sense. And now it makes more sense. But I go back to, what was it, 2024 U.S. Open that was at Pinehurst.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was Bryson versus Rory. Right? And that was going on, and I'm going like, we should have this more often. And actually, I think once they come back, and I believe they will, especially, the Rahms, the Brysons, they'll find a way to get them back. Hopefully there's some penalty that they have to serve or pay or something that, makes it obvious that they messed up. But I say this all the time, every sporting event needs villains. Okay? I think the problem with NBA after Jordan was you kind of wanted to root for everyone. Vince Carter was dunking. It was cool. Everybody was into the wave of Allen Iverson. Kobe Bryant and Shaq were likable at the time. Like everything just it's same thing in a post-Tiger PGA world. It's been like you'll have entire leaderboards on a Sunday on the PGA, and it's just a bunch of guys who it's like, oh, it'd be nice if he won. Right? Yeah, like Spieth, Tommy Fleetwood, Hideki, Shane Lowry, and you're just like, yeah, everybody there I'd be happy to see. But if you throw in like a Bryson and a Patrick Reed into the mix, suddenly it's like, oh no, I'm invested because I don't want those two guys to win. I want that one to win. Or if you like one of those guys, vice versa. You need villains, and it felt like Liv took all of the villains away from the PGA, and it made it so it was like you separated them, which wasn't fun. So if you can move them back, even Brooks Koepka at times was very villainy when he was on the PGA Tour, right? He would act like he didn't like golf, and then he'd go out there and he'd mow down everyone in a major. And it was you need personalities. So hopefully they can get all the personalities together now that the PIF, the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia, has ended funding Liv, which was the only way it even existed. They weren't making any money, but it didn't matter because they had endless funding coming from the PIF. And now that they've pulled it, again, hopefully there's some punishment. I hope it's stiff if we're being real for the guys that left. But once they get back in, I hope we can get back to just having a PGA like we grew up with. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Stevenson, left alone, left side 3. Count it! Stevenson again!
Carolina. Their college basketball roster, the first year of Michael Malone, I don't think it's complete, but you're starting to see the shape, right? If this is, you ever watch America's Got Talent, Max, or any of those like gimmicky talent shows?
Talent shows, yeah.
You ever seen the ones where they like paint fast and it's like, they're splashing, they're throwing paint on it. It might be upside down or something like that. And then at the end they reveal and it's like, whoa, you drew a picture of Simon Cowell. But there's that moment where you're looking at it and you're like, oh, it's a face. I kind of see where he's going with it. I think Carolina's at that point, right? You see a lot of the guards. You see Matt Abel, right? You see Avdalas coming from Virginia Tech. And now they're just throwing – it's almost like they went kind of I would say more traditional on the perimeter. They've got ACC players coming from multiple spots. Matt Abel coming from NC State. Virginia Tech, Avdalas. They have Terrence Brown, a 20-point scorer for Utah, so it's not from the ACC, but it's from a power conference. And then while retaining Jaron Stevenson as part of their kind of forward center group, then they're just throwing potential darts. They're grabbing a guy that redshirted at Northwestern last year. They're grabbing a 7-footer from Spain, originally from Mali, in Sayon Keita. They're grabbing a guy out of the transfer portal that has 40-something games played and 0 assists in his career. Like, they're just throwing together this mash of height and ability into their post and saying, I don't know, one of them better work. That's at least what it feels like. Right, and it's coming together in a way that it's very obvious they're going to look for a lot of their production from the perimeter, and they're just going to hope that they have enough bodies and size down low to not get pushed around as much as they can, with the acknowledgement that they can still add, right? And there's still a few guys out there that might shift everything I just said, right? Because Sayon Keita, the commitment they got yesterday, 7-footer, 18 years old, has been playing in Spain, pro league, but low minutes. Unbelievable potential. If he's your number one big, your number one center, I'm worried about that because who knows what the adjustment process is going to be. But if you bring a guy that's more proven and he gets to be your second big, I kind of love it, right? It's the wide receiver one thing, right? You could have a group of wide receivers that you're not happy with, and you add a wide receiver one, suddenly you love all the guys you already have because he wasn't good enough to be a wide receiver one, but he's a pretty good wide receiver two. Wasn't good enough to be a wide receiver two, but he's a pretty good wide receiver three and on down. I think Carolina is a true, legit number one big man away from me liking all of their bigs. Because if they all get bumped down, you don't depend on them as much. You don't need them to play well every game. You don't need them to defend the other team's post every game because you have your stud number one. But the roster's coming together a little bit. And there's still a few European bigs mostly out there. The portal is getting picked over quickly at center. It's very obvious that is the market that is most limited in supply, which makes the demand very high and it moves very quick. If you get a center, pay whatever it takes to keep him. Maybe they wish they did that with Henry Vasar. I don't know if there was a number that would have kept him, but they might be wishing they went $1 million more just to see. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
Minnesota's on it. Kaprizov, now Spurgeon. Spurgeon with a shot tipped in. Matt Boulding wins it for Minnesota in overtime.
So Rod Brindamore, earlier this week, speaking to the media, stumbled into what I think is an extreme common sense thing that sports needs to deal with. We all watched the Canes game, right? We all watched Game 4 against Ottawa. And Ridley Greig's sucker punch of Sean Walker, right? It's a sucker punch. I mean, I could take it by play. If you saw it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you didn't, it was a sucker punch. To the point where, Paul Bissonnette, who is kind of, a goofball and in his own right, got real serious and was like mad about it, and he would have been waiting outside the locker room for the guy and everything else. Rod Brindamore was asked about the punch, and I have a quote here that I think applies to a lot. He says, "It is impossible to referee our sport live." He references how fast everything moves, and he thinks there needs to be more reviews. Okay, so he's essentially saying if a ref just isn't looking there and there's a sucker punch and it's not a reviewable thing, or they don't go to the review, what's supposed to happen, right? You can't make a referee see every player on the ice at every point in time, especially when there's the chaos of the extracurriculars happening and there might be another fight happening over there, something else going on. So despite the fact that it's on film clear as day, they didn't go to the review, they couldn't go to the review, and it doesn't happen. Now, in that specific case, yeah, I agree with Rod. I don't know why this doesn't exist. The eye in the sky for professional sports should have a certain level of authority over everything for wildly obvious. right? They don't have to intervene, and there might be things that the threshold should be higher for them to intervene. But if there's just a wildly obvious, like absolute no doubt, everyone is going to agree with you call, you should be able to call down to the refs, and it should be this quick. Yeah. You hear me? Yeah, Grieg's out. There you go. All right, thanks, bye. It should be that simple. Or if a puck is scored and they don't see it, or if there's I'm talking about the most egregious. Remember, what was a handful of years ago now? Gosh, it's probably like 10 years ago now, but that's going to make me feel old. The pass interference in the Rams-Saints playoff game, that was just the most defensive pass interference a defensive pass interference has ever been. And the refs missed it, and there was nothing you could do. And it decided who went to the Super Bowl. Remember this? Eye in the sky should be able to call down, go, yeah, it was pass interference. Yep, put the ball on the one. No explanation needed. They should have that kind of authority, and it should be in every sport. And referees should not be chastised for missing it. It should just be, yep, you missed one. He was offsides. Yep, he was way offsides.
That's a bit of a slippery slope,
it's
though,
not.
with the eye in the sky.
It's not.
Every missed call is
not
gonna
every
get
missed call.
called now.
No, it will not. By the way, if it is a missed call, it should be called. Missed calls should not skate by. The issue we have is reviews take too long, and they can't apply to everything. It should be the most. And by the way, you need to have people with common sense that are doing it, right? You should not intervene on 50-50 calls. You should not intervene on judgment calls. But on ones that are point blank like that, or what was it? I was watching one of the Laker games, and there was a charge called, and his heels were on the restricted line. It wasn't like, oh, they're close. It was, they are on the restricted line.
That's cut and dry, yeah.
And JJ Redick had to challenge. He had to watch the replay, and his team stalled while he watched on the Jumbotron. Then he had to walk out and challenge. Then the refs had to walk over and challenge. It should be just eye in the sky coming down and going, yep, you missed it. Heels were on it. Bye. 5 seconds. We're back to playing. Yep, sucker punch. Yep, put him in the box. Yep, see ya. It's that simple. I don't know why it doesn't exist.
It's hard with playoff hockey physicality, man. There's
not only for the obvious. Only for the obvious.
Only for the obvious.
If it's a judgment call, if it's a 50-50, even if it's like a 70-30 call, no. It's 100-0. Then you call it. And that should be the threshold, by the way. Like, if you think, I don't know, somebody might be mad, don't call. It's only the ones where it's like, oh, goodness. Yeah, get them on the phone. Like, it's got to be that. Because those are the ones that are most frustrating. Get the call right. I used to get mad about this. When I was in college, our team, Delaware, played on TV more than other teams in our conference. So they used to limit the number of cameras we could use for replay. So, like, if our coach challenged, we would only be allowed to use the cameras that other teams also had set up in other games that were being played. And I'd be going, how about we just get the call as right as possible? If we have a good angle on it and in another stadium they wouldn't have had that angle on it, we're not playing in that other stadium. It's not like only the home team could use it. Both teams in this game could use it. Let's get the call right. Let's just get the call right. What number was that? Number 3. How about number 2?
Just the two of us.
NCAA tournament's expanding to 76 teams. I got this rebuttal, right? I asked earlier if you have any good reason why the NCAA tournament should expand, any good reason, please let me know. And I did say, like, if it's just to make more money, I don't think that's a good enough reason because I think it actually puts the money at risk in the long run. I do think immediately it will make more money. And on Twitter, David said, it's all about college athletes that wanted to be paid. He put it on me because I was somebody advocating for college athletes to get paid. Said, y'all wanted to pay all this college athletes. This comes with it. Because the kids want to get paid for having their number and jersey in the bookstore. Now Paul McNeil is getting $4.5 million for 1 year. What are we doing? By the way, that's all rumored. I don't know how much Paul McNeil's going to end up getting. You think it's paying the players for having their jerseys in the bookstore? It's their fault that they have to go to 76 teams in the NCAA tournament? Really? You don't think it's actually messed up that they used to sell the jerseys and didn't pay the players? You don't think it's messed up that they can't operate like every other professional sports franchise, sports league in the world? Trust me, of the things in college basketball that were being run poorly as a business, the NCAA tournament was not one of them. I think game day atmospheres were not being run as a business. I think the merchandise was not being run as a business. I think how much front office, how much administrators, how much coaches, how much they were getting paid was not being run as a good business. I think it's absolutely hysterical that in the last 10 years, 1 billion colleges suddenly no longer had moral objections to selling alcohol in the stadium. Because guess what? They were just passing on hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars a game day that they should have been making all of these years. Right? Yeah, the players on the field might not be of age, but the fans watching were, and they could go ahead and drink just like they could at every professional sports game. There's a lot of ways the NCAA and their conferences and their teams could make more money. The billions of dollars they were getting from the NCAA tournament was not the reason why they were mishandling their business in order to have enough cash to pay players. 64 games. Perfect. 68 was too much, but it was a small enough difference that I'm not going to get too worked. 64 teams. It's perfect. It's perfect. Max, how do you feel about 76 games?
Not good. Not good. The bubble was terrible last year. Probably only should have been like 50 teams in last year, honestly.
And it's only going to get worse because the teams that have the money are going to continue. Actually, it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy money-wise. Because I'll tell you what's going to... The ACC has already made the move to where they're not paying out their conference payments equally, right? It's merit-based. So the teams that are the haves are going to get more money from making the NCAA tournament and going further in the NCAA tournament. And then that money is going to make it so they can buy all of the talent off other rosters. So the bubble is going to get worse, and the talent is going to keep going to the teams with the money, and they're going to win, and they're going to go further. Thus, they're going to get money, and then they're going to buy the opposing team's talent. Then they're going to win. They're going to go further, and they're going to get more money. It's going to grow the difference. The bubble's going to get worse and worse and worse, and more of the bubble is going to get in. We're going to have a lot of really bad games in the early parts of the NCAA tournament. Say goodbye to Cinderellas. Say goodbye to everything you love. Am I being dramatic? Maybe. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Number 1.
Allmark heads to the bench for the extra attacker. Kachuk into the corner. Loose puck. Canes come up with it. Aho's going to go across. He's got real estate. Aho makes a move. Bingo! Sebastian Aho puts Carolina up 3-1 in Game 4.
Shout out to Sebastian Aho. Here's the deal, everybody. Whether you think it's good or bad for the Carolina Hurricanes, they're going to have, and they are in the middle of, a long break between the first and second round. It is the gift and the curse of sweeping Ottawa. And now Pittsburgh decides they're not going to go quietly into the night, and they might end up pushing Philly to 7 games. Who knows? It's going to be a long break, which I get is a bit scary. It's scary because, certain parts of the Canes game were cranking, right? They were cruising. They had wind in their sails, wind at their back. And you don't want to give a long break the opportunity to mess that up, to break that rhythm. So, yeah. Freddie was in rhythm. You don't want to mess that up. The Stankoven line was in rhythm. You don't want to mess that up. The penalty kill was in rhythm. You don't want to mess that up. I get it. I hear you. But at the same time, let's play a little glass half full here, right? Maybe there are some things that the Canes can fix. Right? If there's a risk for things to get broken, there's a risk that things can get fixed, right? Aho, Jarvis, Svetch need to be more productive. I'm talking point production. Could they get into rhythm? Could they figure out what's not working, or what Ottawa was doing to them that was making it more difficult for them to produce some points and goals? Perhaps. Their power play has to get back in rhythm. Got to be better in the face-off circle, face-off dot. Got to get healthy, which, by the way, I believe we have some audio for you that we'll play for you here. Rod Brindamore updating the media on Alexander Nikishin, who obviously is dealing with the concussion protocol that he's been in as of late. Here's Rod Brindamore on Nikishin.
They said right away he didn't really have a lot of symptoms, so I think I think he's feeling good, and whatever he's got to do to get tested or whatever, it's going along in the right direction.
Nikishin did skate today, by the way, at practice. He was in a non-contact sweater, but he was on the ice. So, if he comes back, that's gigantic. If Ehlers can come back, that's gigantic. But it doesn't have to be all bad, is basically what I'm saying. The fear, I get that, in this world that negativity spreads faster than positivity, right? We've all been on social media. So it's probably more interesting conversation to think about how scary it is that the Canes have this long break and the rust, and they might not start hot in the next series and all of these things. But there's at least equally amount of opportunity for you to get right. There's at least equal amount of opportunity for things to get fixed, get healthy, get refreshed. With the way Freddie Anderson is playing, we had this debate yesterday on Copper Drop. If he keeps playing that way, it's going to be really tough to take him out of the net, right? It's going to be really tough to even give a game to Brandon Bussey if Freddie keeps playing this way. But at the same time, Freddie's in his mid-30s, right? If you're playing every other night for a 7-game series, or every third night, sometimes every other night, sometimes in a 7-game series, and you go right into the next series, fatigue can become an issue. So, maybe he shows up a little bit out of rhythm based on what he was doing, but at least he'll be refreshed. At least he'll have had his full recovery run, you know what I mean? So I'm choosing to look at it optimistically. It's not to say I don't acknowledge the other side of the coin. I'm just saying a long break doesn't have to be the end of the world. I know it will be blamed if things don't go the Canes' way, especially in maybe game 1 or game 2. But if they win, no one's going to give it credit. That's the messed up part. Right? If they lose game 1, it's going to be, the break, they were so rusty. That's unfair. If they win, no one's going to go, it's because they were refreshed. So I just want to make sure that you understand that there's two sides to every tale, two sides to every coin. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. By the way, we will have – actually, should we just do it now? Let's just do it now. How you like me now? Our final for the day, keyword in our Canes playoff ticket giveaway. The keyword for today, for this hour, that you need to text in by 6 o'clock is check. C-H-E-C-K. Just that word. Don't have to send anything else. Text it to 919-860-5326 by 6 o'clock for your chance to win a pair of Carolina Hurricanes Round 2 Game 2 playoff tickets. The winner will be selected and notified on Monday, May 4th. You can get an entry. I believe it's the 9 o'clock hour, and then each hour meaning 9 a.m. tomorrow and Friday, and then noon to 6. Once an hour, you can gain an entry by texting in the keyword that you are given here on 99.9 The Fan by the start of the next hour. So it's 9 to 10 tomorrow and Friday, noon to 6 once an hour tomorrow and Friday. Winner will be selected and notified on Monday, and they'll be taking themselves and a friend and a family member and whoever to Round 2, Game 2, Canes playoffs. Again, the keyword for this hour, check, C-H-E-C-K. The number to text it to, 919-860-5326. Once again, good luck to you all. Now, we have numbers game. Speaking of ways you can win, we have numbers game coming up, the numbers game, and the prize is a $25 Hardee's gift card. So go ahead and call in now, 919-860-5326. That's the number, 919-860-5326. We need 2 contestants. Call in now. You'll play the numbers game, potentially win yourself a $25 Hardee's gift card. Here's the number one more time. I'll say it slow. 919-860-5326. Numbers game next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
All of my life, all I heard from Mets fans were, oh, you Yankees fans, all you do is buy championships. If we had as much money as you, we'd have 27 just like you guys. The New York Mets have the highest cash payroll of any team in baseball. $360 million this year.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
This is the sound of Jack buzz cutting his way to a small fortune. To Jack, every time he cuts his own hair, that's $50 right in his pocket. If Jack sees DIY buzz cuts as a saving strategy, Wells Fargo is right behind him. And with their mobile app, tracking his savings is easy. Oh, ouch. However you make money work, we can work with that.
Mobile carriers' message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Do you need a space shot? Rent one of our clean, dry, ground-level storage or office containers from Eagle Leasing, formerly Containers for Less. Call 1-800-GET-EAGLE or check us out at eagleleasing.com. I'm Brandon Eagle, and you see us everywhere. We're Eagle Leasing.
Saturday, May 2nd. Don't miss the North Carolina Courage taking on the reigning NWSL Shield champs, Kansas City Current. This high-demand match is selling fast. Upgrade to a premium experience. With limited inventory, secure your seats now at tickets.nccourage.com or call 919-459-8144.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. Our contestants for today, Chad in Knightdale, as well as Shep in Raleigh. And they will be competing for the opportunity to win $25 to Hardee's. It's a big deal. You can get some good food there. As always, we'll bring them each onto the show. They will answer the exact same question. I'll ask each of them the exact same question. Max, who's producing the show today, will be our judge. He'll pick his favorite answer, and that person will get to go first. We'll start with Chad. Chad, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. For today's question, each hour of today's show, tomorrow's show, and Friday's show, we're giving out a keyword where you can win, if you text it in, tickets to a Canes playoff game. I will ask you this. If you were going to go to a Canes playoff game, you had 2 tickets, and you could invite any celebrity sports figure, like not like, someone in your family, just somebody in sports history. Who are you taking with you?
Anyone?
Anyone. You got 2 tickets, so you're going to be hanging out, you're going to be talking, you're going to be cheering on the Canes.
I mean, I love hockey, but I'd have to say Bo Jackson of the Raiders. I'm a big Raiders fan.
All right, Bo Jackson. Nice answer. Max, any follow-ups? Nope. All right, we go to Shep. Shep in Raleigh, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. In honor of us giving away a pair of Canes tickets with hourly keywords, the question that you have to answer to see who goes first is, if you have a pair of tickets to the Canes and you can bring any sports figure, right? Not like, your high school teammate or something like that. We're talking about a celebrity sports figure. Who are you bringing with you to the game?
Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell. All right. 2 very different answers.
Any particular reason why?
I'm a Cleveland Cavaliers fan.
All right. This makes a lot of sense. Max, we have a Raiders fan that picked Bo Jackson to come with him to the game, and we have a Cavs fan who took Donovan Mitchell to the game.
It's a tough one. This is a tough one for sure. I honestly, I kind of want to go with Shep and Donovan Mitchell just because I feel like that's like a little more unexpected. Like Bo Jackson, legend in his own right. Donovan Mitchell, very good player, but like would not have been among the top 200 people I would have expected someone to say. So we'll let Shep go first.
All right. Shep, you get to go first. Chad, don't worry, you'll have your chance. Just have to sit on hold for a minute or two until we get to you. All right, Shep, you ready to pick a category?
Yep.
All right, the categories are NFL, all Carolina Panthers, MLB, Cy Young Award winners since 2006, NBA players that are still playing in the playoffs, or NHL players, Hurricanes only.
Let's go NBA.
All right. We have NBA players that are still playing in the playoffs as the category, or at least their teams are. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There'll be 30 seconds on the clock, one pass if you need it. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Anthony Edwards, Minnesota Timberwolves.
5.
Correct. Lou Dort, Oklahoma City Thunder.
5.
Correct. Ron Holland, Detroit Pistons.
10.
Incorrect. Quentin Grimes, Philadelphia 76ers.
2.
Incorrect. Ron Holland, Detroit Pistons.
Pass.
DeAndre Ayton, Los Angeles Lakers.
5.
Correct. Quentin Grimes, Philadelphia 76ers.
3.
Incorrect. Ron Holland, Detroit Pistons. Shep, I don't put these lists together, but you may have noticed a pattern there. You got Anthony Edwards correct with number 5. You got Lou Dort correct with number 5. You got DeAndre Ayton correct with number 5. If we let you do it again, what would you guess for Ron Holland?
5.
There you go. And if we let you guess again, what would you have guessed for Quentin Grimes?
5.
That is correct. If you just went 5 all the way through, you would have had a perfect 5 for 5. We would have also accepted 1 for Anthony Edwards and 00 for Ron Holland. He's worn both. But 5 would have been correct for all of them. You did it the old-fashioned way. You didn't notice the trend. You just knew the players, and you got 3 out of 5. So stay on the line. We'll see if that's good enough to hold up. Chad, you are up next. Chad, can you hear me?
Yeah, my answer's 5.
I can't. I don't put the list together. I don't know if that would work for you on the next one. But the categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL.
I'll take NFL.
All right, NFL Carolina Panthers only. I will say the team in this category, by the way, even though we know it, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. But all the other rules apply. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. And with Shep getting 3, you need at least 4 for the win. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Shaq Thompson, Carolina Panthers.
Pass.
Teddy Bridgewater, Carolina Panthers.
7.
Incorrect. Mitchell Evans, Carolina Panthers.
11.
Incorrect. Shaq Thompson, Carolina Panthers.
I passed that one.
Yeah, you get it again. Go.
81.
Incorrect. Teddy Bridgewater, Carolina Panthers.
3.
Incorrect. Mitchell Evans, Carolina Panthers.
85.
Incorrect, but so close. 84 for Mitchell Evans is what we were looking for. The irony. Remember, Anthony Edwards was 5, Lou Dort was 5, Quentin Grimes was 5, Holland 5, 8 and 5. What do you think Teddy Bridgewater was?
5.
There it is. It would have been 5. Shaq Thompson, we would have accepted 7 or 54. But unfortunately, 0, not enough for the win. Hopefully you had some fun, though.
I did. Tell my opponent for hopefully his parents enjoy getting dinner at Hardy's for him.
All right, we'll do. Did you hear that, Shep? Your opponent says congrats, and I do as well. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. Go ahead and stay on the line, and Max will grab the info he needs to make sure you get your Hardy's cash, all right? All right, there you go. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 would have been the winner. Again, I don't put these lists together, and that happened. It's very rarely that, but when it is, you're so locked in, it's nearly impossible. We've had ones where it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've had ones where it's 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 like that. We've had some unique ones. Again, we don't do it often because we don't want people looking for the gimmick. But I don't think we've ever had someone catch the gimmick. Right? I don't think we've ever had someone notice like, oh, they're all 2s and just go 2, 2, 2 all the way through. Because when you're doing the numbers game, you're so unbelievably locked in that you're thinking numbers, you're imagining things. You're almost not even hearing what you're saying. But I'm sure it is like when you're listening in your car, you're going like, they're all 5, they're all 5. But it's one of those different things. Also, I was very tempted when the next contestant, Chad, went NFL, to reorder them in my head and move Teddy Bridgewater to the first slot just so it would have been 5. So perhaps he would have gone 5, and then I would have caught him on the next one, right? Shaq Thompson, he would have gone 5. No. But I didn't want to be cruel. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not a mean guy. No, I'm kidding. I don't think anyone thinks I'm mean. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. If you didn't win that one, Chad and everybody else who didn't even play, you can still win the Canes playoff tickets, right? That was our question. Who would you bring out of hockey/sports everywhere? Who would you bring if you had a pair of tickets to the Canes? Well, you might have a pair of tickets to the Carolina Hurricanes Round 2, Game 2, if you text in the keyword CHECK, CHECK, to 919-860-5326 by the end of this hour. So by 6 o'clock. Check expires as a keyword right at 6 o'clock. It's the machine doing it. We can't extend the deadline. So text CHECK to 919-860-5326 for this hour's chance, this hour's entry to win a pair of Carolina Hurricanes Round 2, Game 2 playoff tickets. The winner will be selected and notified on Monday, May 4th. That's this upcoming Monday. Should be fun for whoever ends up winning. I hope it's you. I hope it's you. And I wish I could say that somehow you're going to increase your odds if you subscribe to our YouTube, but that's not how it works, I'm told. But I think karma is a thing, right? The cosmic energy out there. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan, and perhaps the universe will reward you with Canes tickets. That's not official. That's not a part of any of the rules or regulations. That's just me saying if you do a nice thing, sometimes nice things come back to you. So go subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. That's the channel. Maybe the universe will give you Canes playoff tickets for it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on and we look at a little betting, gambling NFL stuff coming out of the draft, oh, no, it's not from me. Somebody else has a message for you, and I assume you'll hear it in this break. Back after this.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here real quick for Loan Pronto. Credit card interest rates, they're now over 29%, and most people are only making minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. But here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands of cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit cards, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved, and they saved over $1,500 a month. And here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone with zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at near 3-year lows, so act now. Go to loanpronto.com, see how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and after every Hurricanes game, thanks to my friends at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina, we give you the Canes Corner podcast. In-depth analysis on what happened, why it happened, what's going to happen next, which players are those to look out for, and as we get deep into the playoffs, how can Carolina best position themselves to win a Stanley Cup? Canes Corner podcast, brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina, live on YouTube, and of course available wherever you get your podcasts.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Lowe's has the brand's pros trust to get the job done. You can now shop new Catalyst fencing solutions and save big when you do. 10% off when you buy in bulk. Plus, save $180 on a DeWalt 12-inch dual bevel sliding compound miter saw. Now just $449. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
You didn't want to go Yamo be there to end the show?
We played that yesterday.
Well, the whole joke from the movie is you play it constantly. So you're
Michael
saying,
McDonald's catalog is not a joke to me.
You're right. My bad. We rep the same smart tech.
It's a great movie, though. 40-year-old version.
It is a fantastic movie. I haven't seen it in a long time, so I should be careful with that. I don't know how well it's aged. Is
that
there,
era of
is there stuff that'll get us canceled?
I don't think so. Nothing comes immediately
I remember
to
thinking
mind.
it was funny in that moment, but I may have been immature at the time.
Well, there's the one scene where Steve Carell, his coworkers, his girlfriend comes in. That may not hold up today, but
okay.
That's just that era of comedy movies was just like it was peak. It was peak. They're all. I feel like most of those are way funnier than comedies that come out now. But maybe I just don't see comedies that come out.
Comedies
now
don't come out anymore. That's
I feel like
that's
they don't.
the problem.
People
right?
are afraid. They're afraid to make jokes.
I think it's just the $15 to $20 million movie doesn't exist.
Yeah,
it's either like you got to spend $300 million and you got to chase $1 billion with a superhero.
Here's the solution.
All right,
they're
let's hear it.
expanding the NCAA tournament to 76 teams. Take the additional revenue, use it to fund
comedies.
$15 to $20 million comedy movies.
I've actually had this conversation a bunch of times. Apparently, comedy doesn't travel as well, and I'm going to work this into the NCAA tournament expansion thing real quickly. Apparently, comedy doesn't travel, meaning like jokes are inherently culture tied. So, if the whole movie is its appeal are jokes, like it's not going to play well in overseas markets. And if you're not cashing money in like China and some of these other markets, you're not going to make the billions of dollars. But explosions and like, cool action sequences, superheroes, that travels everywhere, which is why those movies play more and they cash money both domestically and overseas. Basically what I'm getting at is the way you make your money is broad appeal. And I think it's the secret sauce for the NCAA tournament is that it has massively broad appeal. It doesn't just appeal to the diehard sports people, right? Like, I'm a diehard sports fan. Max, you're a diehard. We don't pick this career if we're not. We're going to be locked into like the NHL playoffs. Right? We're going to be locked into Major League Baseball playoffs. We're going to be locked into the NBA playoffs. We're going to be locked into, Game 6 in a series between two West Coast teams that doesn't really impact us. Most casual sports fans are not going to be invested in all of that. But the way March Madness had set up with the very obvious, easy to follow Cinderella storylines, with the acknowledgement that it's so broad and so random that your aunt or your uncle who watches no sports can beat you in the bracket pool, even though you've watched every team all season long. It brings everyone in, right? And it makes everyone invested, and everybody's checking their brackets, and everybody's doing it, whether you're a diehard fan or not. And I think the more and more they make it difficult rather than more simple to do things like the bracket pool, which is why I'm arguing for it so much, the less you're going to have those casual fans join in, and it's going to become more like every other playoffs. That doesn't mean it's suddenly going to become unprofitable. It just means it's going to lose some of its broad appeal. You're going to lose those other country markets, and thus the advertisers that come with it. Right? You're not just seeing, like, if you watch an NBA playoff game and you watch the first round of March Madness, the ads are inherently different. Right? An NBA playoff game, you're getting like all the traditional dude industries. You're getting like pickup trucks, and you're getting beer and gambling. You watch March Madness, there's everything, right? You're getting financial services, you're getting every brand of car, you're getting like a ton more. And that's because they have a broader audience. So I'm not suggesting the NCAA tournament's going to suddenly go bankrupt because they they expanded their tournament. I'm just saying they're going to lose some of what makes them different from every other every other sporting event that is sold to television or broadcast or streaming. That's what I'm saying. Boom. Let's talk, speaking of gambling, let's talk gambling. For the first time this offseason, I think NFL odds are worth checking on because the roster, for the most part, the hay is in the barn, right? The work is done. Free agency has come and gone. The draft has come and gone. Any big extensions that are going to be signed have likely, not all, but likely, for the most part, been done. The NFC South odds. Who's going to win the division? Obviously, the Carolina Panthers are in the division. And this morning, I went on DraftKings Sportsbook just to tell you where I got it from. The Buccaneers are the betting favorite, plus 165. The Saints are the second betting favorite, plus 255. The Panthers are the third betting favorite, plus 310. And the Falcons bring up the rear, plus 450. So the Panthers are the third betting favorite to repeat as division winners, with most of your roster building done. I'm not here to rant and rave about it. I'm not here to say it's wrong. I'm not here to say, didn't you see them win last year? Did you see what they did to this team or that? No, they had to back into the playoffs as it was. But here's where the Panthers are. I almost said Dennis. Goodness. Talking to Max, because it's important that it's Max, because Dennis is not a golfer and Max is. I'm going to use a golf analogy. If you're a golfer, and let's say you go out there, you play around, and you're like 125 on average. I don't want to say it's easy, but it's easy to cut 10 strokes off your game. Right? You just kind of learn how to play the course a little bit better, a little course management. You might not even have to strike the ball much better.
Yeah. Once someone teaches you just how to swing a golf club, like you can shoot 110.
Exactly. You can just cut 15 strokes off your game. That's huge. That's easy. But if you're playing 90, you're a 90 golf shooter, like that's what you average. You're not the best golfer in your friend group, probably. You're not, nobody is saying like, oh, you got to see him, he's good. But it is wildly difficult to knock 10 strokes off your game.
You're really speaking my language right now. This is hitting a little too close to home.
And by the way, 80, you're probably still not the best golfer. Like no one at the club is getting excited to play with you. Like you're a good golfer, right? You can make your way around. You can play with anybody without slowing them down. But you're still, you're not getting near scratch. You're not anything to write home about. You probably enjoy it more. Don't get me wrong. You might win a few more money games, but it's wildly difficult once you're good to get better. It's easy to go from bad to less bad. It's really difficult to go from good to more good. That's where the Panthers are. Like the Panthers had, what was it, 3 years ago? They won 2 games. 2. They won 5 the next game. That's a 3-game boost. That was easy. They won 3 more to 8. It was maybe a little bit more difficult, but still not crazy, not brain surgery. They lost a bunch of games they should have won, and they still won 3 more games. Same difference, right? 10 strokes from 125 to 115 as from 90 to 80 on the golf course. Same 3 games that you went from 2 wins to 5 wins, from 8 to 11 is wildly more difficult. So I'm not saying like, oh, they should be third to win the NFC South because they're not good or they're not getting better. I'm here to say let's have realistic expectations. Winning 3 more games is very, very difficult to do from 8. And if you don't win 11 in a 17-game series, most years it's going to be tough to win a division.
But they just came off a year winning the division with 8 wins.
If you tell me once again that this division is going to be so bad that 8 wins would do it, I think that changes their odds. But how many times has that happened in back-to-back years?
Not often, but if they were the best team, or at least they were able to win the division, whether or not you think they were the best roster or not, like, I think all the moves they've made have been positive. And if you already won the division, I don't understand how they're not the betting favorite to win the division next year.
I think their offense is bad. I don't think they've done much to improve it. Their offense was, again, I when I say they're bad, I know it sounds like I'm being like really brutal. That's statistics talking. They're 25 plus in every major statistical category, meaning 25th in the league or worse in every major statistical category offensively. And they did not add a ton.
Yeah, I think they're more than anything banking on continued development of Bryce Young. He's gotten better year after year, and they acquired a lot of protection for him at the very least on the offensive side, although I agree they didn't really go after a ton of weapons for the offense.
I will use the exact same golf analogy. His rookie year, he was hitting 125 out there on the golf course. And he's just getting to 90 is a good day. It's really difficult to go from that to significantly better. If that's where you're looking for your individual improvement, it doesn't happen that often. Quarterbacks don't make those kind of leaps often.
He and I are on a similar timeline, and for his sake, I hope he is better at he's better at getting better at football than I am at getting better at golf, because that's a plateau that we've hit.
So again, I want to be clear. I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm starting the campaign now. With the roster nearly complete, I'm looking at them. Accurate and realistic expectations are important. I don't think 8 wins the division this year. Just by the nature of how many times in a NFL division has 8 games in a 17-game season won the division. It doesn't happen often. So I don't think 8 wins the division this year, and I think they could be better than last year and win 8 games again. Right? If a few kicks don't go their way, if a few breaks in overtime or whatever last drives don't go their way, they don't win 8 games this year. I think they could be better, win 8 games, and not win the division. That's the concern, is that you set the expectation as like, oh, they have to win 10 games in the division or else this is a bust. And I'm looking around going,
it's not easy to do.
Well, let's say they got a little lucky this year on a couple wins. Let's say they were, I'll call it 1 game. 7. Let's say they're a 7-win team. 7 to 10 is gigantic. Gigantic. So unless they're going to get fortuitous, a little lucky break again, then realistic expectations are important here.
That's true. And I understand where you're coming from that perspective, but for me, it's more about the other teams in the division. Like, what did they all really do to get that much better? And Tampa Bay lost like a franchise cornerstone with Mike Evans leaving now. And like the Falcons, they're going to start Tua? Like, are we supposed to be worried about that being a division-winning team? And the Saints are just, like Tyler Shuck is good, but like I'm not worried about them winning the division.
Well, first of all, the Falcons are not even in the mix. Even the betting odds have them 4 and 4th. Tampa, I think it's fair to say that last year they got rocked by injuries in a way that impacted them. The Saints were getting better. Like they finished. They were the best team in the division the second half of the year. And I don't think they're that good, but I don't think the Panthers are that good either. Right? Like
that's fair.
If they weren't in that division against them last time, I don't think they win 8 games. If they're in a stronger division, they probably win 5.
Saints also beat them twice last year, so
yeah, and a couple of them. It's. I think the Panthers are moving in the right direction, and I think that should be where we focus. not necessarily on any kind of contending or playoff.
Process-based evaluation, not results-based.
Results-based, but just not all about winning the division-based. Like, I want to see stats. I want to see certain things, but just not winning the division. I'm being told we have 20 seconds. We got to wrap it up quick. Don't forget, keyword, check. Text it, 919-860-5326. Before 6 o'clock, you have a couple more minutes. That might win you Canes playoff tickets, round 2, game 2. Winner will be selected Monday. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, enjoy Overdrive. See ya.
Move your sports day forward.
The Carolina Panthers continue their evolution now 3 years into this front